vitality. Though the match streak may be over, there's only one prize in their minds, the major trophy.
はい。おはようございます。見ていきますか。いやちょっと気合い入れて、てかのんびりしてちょっと風呂入ってたらギリギリになっちゃったんで、ちょっとギリギリになっちゃいましたけど、まあ見ていきましょうか。
If there ever was a time for Mouse to beat Vitality, if there ever was one game, you know, that would mean the will to them to win against Vitality, it would be this one.
次メジャー大会もあと2日かな。今日準決勝で明日決勝だから、あと2日ですけど。1試合目はミラージュっぽいですね。いいね。ミラージュ見たかったからミラージュでトレイン。
That's why I'm glad to see that Mouse has been powering up. From going 0-2 at the beginning of Stage 3, winning 3 consecutive BO3s, having the longest game we've had in the playoffs in that opener versus Spirit. I mean, I'll say this, they're battle tested. The Mouse are ready right now. And so many teams right now, they talk about, we didn't have enough games, or it's been too long of a break between the last time we played. Mouse, they've been playing more CS than anybody here.
They're definitely well prepared coming into this one.
バイタリティマウズがまあ一番面白い試合になるんじゃないかなと思って見てますけど、本当ね3日前からね、まあ、マウズスピリットのミラージュ見て、まあ、ナビどこだナビバイタリティのミラージュ見て、で昨日はモンゴルズとフェーズのミラージュ全部ね1マップ目で見てきたんですけど、なかなかねミラージュそれぞれのチームにそれぞれの良さがっていうかなんか戦い方があって、まあ、その中でも特にねマウスがミラージュすごい上手いなって感じたんで、まあ、バイタリティとのこのミラージュですね。これ見れたらすごいいいなと思ってたんですけど、まあ、1試合目に選ばれてるんで、こっちも楽しみにしながら見ていければなと思います。
But he's the guy with the AWP who can definitely make an impact and make sure the Mouse remains competitive to maybe, just maybe, give them a chance of winning.
I know Torzy's going to come up on the CT side. I know that second half is going to be good for him. That's why I want to just see, is the game plan good enough to give him the runway in the first half? Are they going to put together the strategies similar to what they did against Spirit in order to just make Apex feel the same way that Donk felt when he's getting flashed right in the face, where it's not a fair fight? And if they're able to make Donk look mortal at times as they did in the first day of the playoffs, I think they can do the same to Apex.
And that guy would be Spinks, the man who's doing right here, the ex-Vitality member on Mirage so far this tournament for Mouse, the highest performer. On the CT side, always pushing catwalk, always poking in towards middle, always trying to find a fight. And he's got to go up against Apex, he's got to go up against Flamesy, he's going to get some of those duels. And so far, Spinks has been doing a tremendous job at that. So it comes from Spinks, it comes from Torsey. If they are both enabled, I see Mouse standing a chance right here. If not, there's no way.
Just to quote Spinks in that pre-match interview, I'm not tired of facing Vitality, I'm tired of losing to Vitality. What else do Mouse need to throw at them if they have any hope of changing this narrative that has kind of haunted them throughout the first half of this year?
I want Yimpat to be able to stand up toe to toe. I want Jimmy in the server able to just stick it to Zywoo or Robson in a late round. He's been this rookie for so long, but I want it. Okay, I'm going to say it. I want him to goon on him. I want him to goon.
I'm sure Jim Fed would be doing that if he couldn't. I mean, to be completely honest, I think it's more so about Brolan as well. Brolan this tournament so far has been a little bit lackluster, so I want to see Brolan step it up, win some of those entry duels, go head to head versus Apex. We got to see that happen.
I think there's rivals obviously, you know, siding in the favor of Vitality. I think Mouse have more of a shot than this, though, Maui.
That was drastic. I feel like Vitality, they definitely are the favorites in this one, but Mouse, they have more than a puncher's chance to take Mirage.
前半試合の中での本当終盤ぐらいまで苦しんでたけど、後半はねめちゃくちゃいいエントリーキル出して試合畳んできたし、今日も楽しみですね。
taking on world number 2 in this semi-final in Austin. I think these guys are ready. We know the teams are ready. Vitality, are they ready? 6 trophies in a row coming into this major. They will accept nothing less than the world's best. And Mouse have been headhunting them all year long. It's time to see if these challengers can take down the final boss.
Yeah, we got the top 2 teams in the world going blow for blow. On any other day, we'd call this a grand final.
This is a long-running rivalry. A perfect season on the line and for Vitality. Glory right there for the taking. Austin, this is the match you came to see.
よし、グッドラックアップファン、バイタリティ CT。
Mouse have to start strong. There's no ifs, ands, or buts with Inferno up next. Mirage is a must.
まあパレス3人、メイン2人から。
Drops up close ramp.
最初はメイン取りに来たと。
Some say the greatest addition to a roster. Robs with the Julies.
も最初やってたけど、
We saw him ace in
や
the
っぱ
group
開幕
stage
ね、こ
with
こ
these exact
潰
weapons.
せると
Mouse come
一気
in.
に有利になるから。
He's dead straight away.
なんか今日は俺の
Vitality have to
YouTube
start
なのか
scrambling
な、画
bodies
質が
over.
悪い
It
で
was
す。
just Rops and Mezzi here. So Mao's looking for that early purchase on Mirage. Exertion and taking space away. And Zywoo won't
さすが
last
に
long
HP だから
either.
取られないと。ワンベする。
Only Flames left in this, and he's taken one of the dome at the first time he's
Wow,
played his
nice little
hand. Mao's come in swinging. Come in swinging. To open up Mirage, open up their pick in this semi-final.
Torshi getting hyped in the pistol is a good spirit level for Mouse. He's been fairly quiet actually in the major so far, but he stepped up on the stage against Team Spirit on this very map, dropping a nuke and sending Mouse through in a 2-1 game.
まあヘッショックもらってたから、まあ同時一発で
Vitality,
カ
they've
バー
got
入っ
the
ちゃ
ego to force. No doubt about
う。
it.
バイタリティとしてはね、開幕攻めた
A
んですけ
little
ど、
bit of everything sprinkled in.
まあマウズは
Mouse look to make it happen in the middle.
まあ決まらずって感じでした。対するマウズは
Apex has already
ミ
dropped
ッ
down
ド
into
B
lower
で、まあ
though.
B ショート B スプリットですね。
Zywoo to tee him up with this flash.
Oh, he's
Didn't
screwed.
quite get the spot though, and Apex ends up in hot water.
アンパスフォールド
Pincered between top mid and this lower push.
どのチームもアンパス結構ね詰めるのを待ってから
Vitality lose the
上がって
mid
ったりするけど、
control. This whole
こう
area
いう
goes
のを対
dark.
策してるっていうのもあるんだろう。さあバイタリティはまた開幕のね仕掛けやってきたけど、今回もうまくはまらずって感じですね。まあ A サイト角があるところよりかは B ショート B ロングで
Well, Mouse change their plan. They do, they bail. They don't like what they see, and they avoid the stack entirely. Spinks has that rotation cut off, and Vitality, if they want to risk everything in this round, they have to go
さ
through
あここ
spawn.
はまあキルできたらリテイクって感じだろうね。次バイできます
Jimmy's
か
got the flank. He gets the info, but he goes down. Does that open up the round?
さあメジ
This force buy for Vitality suddenly is a reason to go for the retake. Rops though has to try and finagle a path through the middle. The flashes are good. They learn about Spinks here now as well. He's trying to put distance between himself and Vitality.
Time's all they got.
Trying to buy as much as he can. Brolin set up over towards ramp.
ただスモーク
And
も
to
な
be
い
the
しキ
guy
ッ
to
トもない
clutch
から
this out if
こ
needed.
れはもう噛み合
The
わないと
captain of Mao's out with that swing. Softens Vitality up. And a sigh of relief for Mao's as their captain proves to be a safe pair of hands. A lot of ways that could have gone weird, but Brolin doesn't let it happen.
Two very capable captains in the server today. Two very strong individuals leading their
まあ
teams.
人数かけながら
For
ちょっと
Brolin, it
CT
was
ね
just as a solution
見に行こうかってとこタイミング
to the issue of
バッチリ
removing
でしたね
Shui for
まずは
Apex. It was about rewriting his story.
いやグッドタイミングだな。
Big round for Brolin to keep this going for Mouse. They're going to get a freebie here as Vitality
バ
have
イ
to
タリ
take
ティ
a
はちょっと
breather.
リテイクの
Zywoo's
形
got
う
an
まかったです
AK
ね。
though,
ザイウの
and you
1
never
キル
doubt
から
this guy.
まあ盤面的にはマウズが完全にいい位置いたけどエイムと
He's taken that
試
gun
合の
over
順番
towards
で
B though, so
うまく展開
Zywoo
作
won't
ってたん
be
で上手でしたね。
in the picture if these pistols get brushed aside straight away. Mao's do set their sights on this A bomb site, and so just the 5-7s to break through. Zywoo beginning that rotate over now. It's the AK that's the intrigue in this round. Pistols dealt with cleanly.
Get out of there.
And
ここまで
Zywoo's
入った
already
A
running
セッ
away.
トですね。GO の時みたいな A セット。
A semi-final does feel like a perfect storm for an upset, doesn't it? But at the same time, this is at least the map we've seen Mouse take over Vitality. They are 15-3 this year in maps taken, 6-0 in series. Mirage twice taken by Mouse. That's it. So if they were ever going to steal this game away today, it has to come off the back of winning this first map. That Vitality Inferno, even though they were fell to Legacy, it does feel almost impenetrable.
まあ今回は
Mouse know they need a strong T side. Mouse know they need Mirage. And right now, it's a pretty damn good start.
まあエコラウンドだったんで、まあしょうがないですね。
Austin, what do you think about Apex? Well, Vitality have been the villains all the way through the year. It hasn't stopped them. It's up to Mouse. Buy round now. Oh dear.
That's awkward. There's smoke out in the spawn from Mouse.
So even
though they get top mid in, they'll have the cross out to the boxes. With no smoke down in the window, that gives ZywOo open sight lines. That's not the guy you want. Be able to pick and choose his battles out here in mid.
He won't go for them. I mean, he doesn't see the miss smoke. He doesn't know. He thinks Mouse want that fight. Instead, it's the B apartments where Mouse congregate. 4 out of 5 moving in, smoked off by Mezzi. He was an absolute monster yesterday. Kept Vitality in it. Up against Na'Vi, up against the wall. He's got to do it again on his own.
フレームズは Apex からフラッシュもらって、まあ A メイン中クリアリングはしてないのかな。
Rops is a ways away from being able to help out.
一回クリアだけしてまたホールドし直してるって感じかな。
So Mezzi will have the full weight of this round on his shoulders. 3 players ready to come his way. With this Fabian sold out in mid, that's going to keep Rops there even longer. Mezzi is operating entirely alone. Rops only just peeling over now. Still has to be Mezzi. And he's not wavering, unfollowing. Not going into the AWP. Eventually, Torshi gets that freebie. But Mezzi bought more than enough time for these bodies to rotate over. Torshi's got waves to break through. And he's just missed that timing on the close side player. Torshi is a dead man. Apex outmaneuvers him.
Perfect play for Apex. Gets cheeky behind the site. And that spacing from Mouse is anything but perfect as they come out of the B apartments, able to isolate 2 kills from the solo anchor. Mezzi holds strong and Vitality get on the board. We know ZywOo doesn't always buy orbs. He likes to pick them up off corpses. So Vitality get that one for free.
まあ B ショットちょっと上がりながら
And on CT side Mirage is where ZywOo can get away with absolute
戦闘しながら B ロン進んでって感じだったんだけど、まあブレイクであれキルされるのはもうしょうがないね。ミッドは
It's slow and it's steady. As Mouse know, both teams' money is on the line.
してって感じですね。一応マネーブレイクではないけど、まあユーティリティスモークあと2個だけだから。
Apex just roaming around the window.
ちょっとテロとしてもどうやって攻めるのかって感じですね。
Berlin's been having a patrol lower, watching for these drops at the start of the
さあ2個のうちの1個はまあ Windows スモークと。
They get this control. Molotov lobbed in from Apex, just denying the lower walkout.
ああうまいね、アンパスを遅延しながら。
Oh, Mao's attempt to respond by battling through that Molotov in lower. And that's a decision they'll come to regret, but this comes from a place of desperation. That bomb out in no man's land.
What a crunch for Vitality. They just block those players down under, and Flames is able to isolate every kill he wants. Bit by bit, Mao's torn out of this round. 2v5, the Deagle doesn't connect. Exertion getting hounded down, and Flames looks for the ace.
I think they're sending him to go get it.
Yeah. Get him activated. This is a guy you want on a map like Mirage. He was very quiet in that quarterfinal, but this is a different day. This is a different Flames. Lights up Mouse and takes the ace.
まあ時間かけてからのもう一回 Windows スモーク入ってくるとね、まあミッドコントロール B 賞
That was just very well orchestrated from Vitality, right? Even the fact that that was like a play around kind of the second or third Molotov down into lower. You've gotten so used to seeing them come in, it felt like it was just to block the walkout. And so when Flames takes that top mid fight, no one's ready for it.
Vitality were unconcerned with an aggressive look. They knew that was full mid. Lands flat on its face.
上手なミッド潰して
したね。さ
あブロックラウンドだからここでまあまたイーブンかな。
Slow round for Mouse. And a chance to talk things over. Brolin's not moving a muscle.
お互い引き気味と。
Mouse came into this feeling good, right? They won the pistol, stuck the landing on the conversions, nothing went wrong there, but you don't want to feel like you've immediately given Vitality a way back in. It's about to be a tie game. Coming into this map, you were saying, this is the one that Mouse have to pick up. If they want to win this semi-final, they've got to find some success on Mirage. This is the most consistent map they've had in these head-to-heads versus Vitality throughout this year.
And I think one good thing, even though Mouse don't want to go down early, is we know this team has resilience. It's something we attributed to FaZe for the longest time. Any game's winnable from any score. Mouse have proven that, man. They've had an incredible run at the Major. They went 0-2 in Stage 3, came all the way back through BO3s, 9-3 down in the third map to make it to the playoffs. They still won it. And that's before we talk about the Spirit quarterfinal, where Mouse again had to pull that series back after a bludgeoning on Mirage. We know Mouse have that staying power.
さすがにグロックじゃここの B ショートと
They won't give up without a fight.
そこのラインは無理だね。
But right now, Vitality have woken up and evened out this score.
さあこれでお互いアウプ勝ってって感じですかね。
It's Mouse with a timeout ahead of the next buy round. Cyclone, one of the calmest coaches we see when we hear those listen-ins for Mouse, never stressed, even late in the day, late in the game.
また髪の人がいる。タイタンフォロー当たる。タイタンフォロー。タイタンフォロー当たる。
New meta.
ニューメタね。あら、お金足りなかったのか、ガリル。
Mouse have had a lot of time to think about how they wanted to approach this rifle round, right? They spent that eco talking about it. They had a timeout after the fact. It's all been building up to this breakthrough round.
Decisive.
とコネクターからの
Didn't like that mid
ミッ
control.
ドの車線通してって感じだね。ブレイクしてもらって一回見たって感じがあ
Back
っ
to
たから。
something more standard. Only flames committed inside of the site.
それ対するマーズは A 攻めですね。まあ今日の試合うまくいってるのは映画はだからまたねこのいい感じにモロトフが遅延のモロトフがいい感じで入ってます。
Might need to be another big multi-kill from Flames. Nothing comes through. Only a one and done for Apex. It's a set piece into this
フレームズがキル入ったらこの Apex のねジャングル目抜けのポジションがすごい刺さりそうだったけどキル入らず Apex もカバー入ってる。
Now Vitality lagging behind. A man down in this retake. And they have Exertion trapped in, but he's just not offering anything up here. It's going to take Messi swinging out. That should have been the kill. Instead, it's Robson Zywoo. Don't count out these two. This is the duo that makes Vitality such a threat. This is the duo that makes any round feel winnable. But cut down and stopped in their tracks. Spinks and Torchy go on a match them.
And that is the perfect head-to-head. Those are the closers that we see on Mouse. Spinks never slowing down in those post plants. The sheer amount of 2v5s that Mouse lost, but also won. Against Spirit was unstoppable. A very close try for Vitality, but they get goaded into losing their guns. And so Mouse win it off of that A execute.
At a time where it feels like, all these top squads have a sort of power duo at their core. Very, very good. With Spinks and Torchy able to match up against the likes of Zywoo and Robs in their first little 2v4 attempt. And there's going to be a couple more of them before this semi-final is all said and done.
結構バイタリティ側はお金プールできてんだね。
Shutting down the first one, and that's while their hands were hot midway through the 2v4.
で B 最速。
They'll come in with a real tempo here. Torchy fast through the apartments, counting down an opener on the AWP, but it's Zywoo getting aggressive first. He gets the AWP opener in this round. Roshi even takes some nades for his troubles as well, softening him up on the extremities. Mouse have control over middle. But even that feels tenuous on this smoke fade. Exertion's going to find a way back in.
It's a traumatizing entry, and it opens up the round entirely. The question is, where are those vitality players in the A side? Robs has taken space. He can play late. Flames is committed. And now's bringing the bomb right back to join up with Xertion. The clock is not a problem. But the quieter it is, the more vitality wander, the more information Mezzi searches for. Trusting in ZywOo with the B site. Flames gets that info. Bomb spotted, gets out of dodge.
さあコネクタを見つけた。
Backing out. Flames has the info now.
ロペスがすごい位
Learns
置
about the player up
にい
the
るんだけど。
Rukon. Gets the spot on these guys. Ram side and Flames still doing it all alone. He's got teammates nearby, but he doesn't even need the help. Flames, one-man army, 11-4. And Vitality, they don't need the full team to stop that A creep. They don't need the A split to get denied at full force. It's just Flames. And now even the creep on round, this AWP is dropped. Save denied.
Bit of a disastrous miss smoke there for Mouse. I don't even know if that meant to be top con or jungle. It was neither. Xertion tries to walk through it, can't find a window kill, goes back through the smoke, and that starts the roll for Flames, finding another multi-kill, this time on the A bomb site. And these trades for Mouse are just not coming through when it comes to matter.
見えてたんですけど、
Like a bug on the windshield.
もう一人の方がカバーっていうよりかは A セットの準備で投げ物投げてたって感じなのかな。
Alarm bell's starting to go off for Mouse because now their money's at breaking point. They've put together a force in this round. They put Exertion onto the hero gun. Full belt util for Brolin, but this is them, swinging for the fences.
Yeah, they've got to be scared about going through under, right? Look at what has happened the last two times they did. We had the block with Flames getting flashed into middle on the ace round, and we had ZywOo force the kill with the AWP. Mouse try and draw the attention with a set piece to buy time for Exertion.
A の投げ物を展開して、寄らせたところ情報をこっちで聞いたりとかって感じなのかな。
You can tell the familiarity and just how much this rivalry's crept up throughout the year with how these squads are playing.
ジャングルス
Slow
モー
game,
ク
there's a
と
lot of respect.
マステア
Everyone
モロト
familiar
で
with how their opponent likes to move and play. More missed util for Mouse though.
そうナイスタイミング。
That's now their third missed piece of util on this T side. And every time it's feeling consequential. Apex destroys this A push. And it's only Spinks left standing. 1v5, he'll get iced out. Vitality take the lead.
Oh, they are looking in final form, aren't they? Call them the final boss coming into this game, especially for Mouse, who just have not been able to walk over Vitality in this year. 6-0 in series across BO3s and BO5s. Mouse have only found a handful of
アンパス
maps.
2人が楽になってって感じだったけど、
Right now we're seeing why.
エイペックス開幕2キル
That's
で
in spite of that
フ
little
ィニッシ
ray
ュっ
of
て感じ
hope
です
that
か
kind
ね。
of came through in Lisbon,
あ
right?
れ
Where
でうま
in
く
the
ね、
BO5 they
切り
get
入っちゃうと
30 node
A サイ
map
ト制
1,
圧
but then they turn it
にな
around.
っ
They
ちゃうと
pick up some map wins. They end up losing the series still 3-2. But
ビラッシュ
they were the guys in the winning position there. And that's after an embarrassing start. That felt like it was going to be a bit of a breakthrough moment. But that's not what's happening right now for Mouse. Chance at their dream, it's ended up being a nightmare. Vitality picked them apart on this B play, and it's another clean round from Vitality.
Yeah, 4 kills for Robs. You're not shy of individuals putting on multi-kills in this game for Team Vitality. May only be an anti-eco, but they stop it from getting out of control. Mouse don't even make it out the apartments. Clinical game right now for Vitality. Everyone having their
ピ
moment.
ストルエコリーラッシュだけど、サイトこのねウィンドウからね下に降りられなければ
Mouse need to solve this puzzle.
こっちがすごい有利
It's
な
not
状
a
態で
breakthrough. This is a breakdown in the
Nice
buy rounds. They've got one more coming in this half.
早いですね。マウザーねミラージュすごいなんか上手なんですよね。
Good amount of work getting countering ZywOo. He keeps walking into Molotovs, keeps getting pushed off angles, but it's not even the AWP that Mouse need to worry about right now. It's its rifling pack, the opener and the closer of Flames and Robs. ZywOo back on the angle.
This is interesting because we haven't had a lot of these mid skirmishes yet. Largely it's been Flames just fighting for this control alone.
さあそしてね A 面がスニークで
ZywOo never got to
ロ
be
ペスに
involved.
止められると。
Robs has held on to this A play, denied that lurk out through the ramp. It's going to put more onus on these players out in mid making a move, and that's going to draw them into this crossfire. Flames and Mezzi between connector and short rip this round from Mouse's hands.
Middle is closed.
Back around the world for Jimmy. Started his round off over in Palace. Having to come back in a mid now. 1 versus 3. And no safe place to hide for Jimmy.
今の左右の
ミッ
ドのねキルのところもあれだけど、他のところで打ち合いが始まった時にね、スニークで2人とかで入ってくんだよね、マウズ。でそれがすごいうまくてタイミングが。今回はロペスに止められちゃってはいたけど。
You know, you have someone like an exertion,
他の場所で打ち合いが始まって、意識がそれたところにスニークで人数かけて上がってくるっていう、これがねすごい上手でね、スプリット戦でもねすごいうまくはまってたんですよね。うまい立ち回りも。うまいエイムの前には無力という。
And the trades certainly have not for Mouse. So even when they've had these entries, these 5v4s, these 4v4s, a bit more space to play with. Vitality still hunkered down. Looking like a very strong half of Vitality if they can finish what they started. Mouse only converted the pistol and took 1 gun round. This is their last chance at the T side.
Yeah, 1 rifle round on their map pick in this semi. Doesn't feel like enough for Mouse. Let's see if they can break through in round 12, the final on the half. They take the pace out of it. Very slow in towards top mid. This time Flames traded places with Robs, responsible for connector.
さあ一応ブレイク用のグレでもあったっぽいけど、ブレイクうまくできる。
So he's going to find himself in the right place at the right time. When you're 15 and 5, that's often the case.
さあ A 主導で今度はミッドがスニークで上がっていく形。スモークにフラッシュも入れて。
You at least know that man who's been destroying you in con isn't here, right?
さあロペスはインスモで。
Instead, it's Robs taking up this position, and he's got teammates nearby ready to activate. Vitality will fight and die on this mid control, and they win everything. Messi with the flick back down. This is looking to be a 1 gun round half from Mouse. All their success coming off the pistols unless Jimmy at 19 HP can clutch up.
30秒。
Shot gives him a second chance, but he's fast running out of time. Things are not looking good. Fortune and there's the nade that seals the deal. Vitality and the runaway success story on this first half.
4-8
they blow out Mouse on this CT side.
マウスのねうまくはまるこの攻めの感じ見たかったけど、バイタリティでうまく阻まれてって感じです。
As of you,
Mr.
Bloom, and that's why I bring you today into the Counter-Strike Clubhouse. I've heard through the grapevine that you've brought the Paris Major. Mr. Bloom, please talk me through your decision to present this to the council.
Well, how right you are. I went down to the Clubhouse archives and I happened upon this one. This is at the Paris Major Grand Final, the last round. We're talking overtime, on nuke, home crowd. Everything is on the line right here.
Apex and ZywOo in the A-Core arena, as French as it gets. I think it's poetic as well that all 5 kills in the final round are from the 2 French players. Yes. This was supported by Dupree and by Magisk and Spinks.
This moment is everything. Like, this round would have been so different if ZywOo doesn't hit that shot. You can really taste the fear in Gamer Legion when they run from the ZywOo AWP.
In fear, you know, you see ZywOo shoot 1 bullet.
But they turn back because they're so afraid, and then they walk into Apex.
And here it is, that final shot, ZywOo to close it all.
On him. Vitality.
No holds back, no surrender.
No holds back.
Some would say. Almost destiny that all 5 players are killed by the 2 Frenchmen on French soil.
There's so much rich history to be built on this moment alone.
And the fact that those 2 legends continue to improve. Legendary moment for the Vitality org.
Quite possibly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for ZywOo to win on, in Paris like that, and for Apex too.
That's why we have culture clubhouses. It's so that we can thrive in the finest environments. And if this isn't Counter-Strike in its finest environment, then I don't know what is.
Now we must find a reasonable score, both in terms of mechanics and cultural impact for this clip. And starting with the mechanics, it is a bit on the low end. I would give this maybe a 5 out of 10.
Of course.
But on the cultural side, this is as big as it gets. Saiwu and Apex in France, in Paris, after the fall of French Counter-Strike. Your first cast, it's Dupree's 5th major. I don't think it gets much bigger. I would say this is about an 8.5 out of 10 for me.
Mechanically speaking, I'll raise it just to the 6. But culture, this was a CSGO major for ZywOo. Now ZywOo, they call him the CS GOAT, but if he never had his CSGO major, then that argument is absolutely blown out of the water. But this was a crowning jewel in terms of his accomplishments. At the tail end of a game, he thrust himself into the pantheon of greats. And for that reason, I'll take your 8 and I'll crank it to a 10. Bottle it and keep it on the Culture Club's top shelf.
Delicious.
This was meant to be a rivalry between Vitality and MOUZ, but Vitality have different ideas. A swift beating in the first half of Mirage, the one map that MOUZ have been able to challenge Vitality on this year. Otherwise, it's been dominant. It's been empty for MOUZ, and this matchup may as well be. If they don't start soon, this series looks to be over. Vitality looking for a legacy.
さあマウズ側と同じく A 側の攻め。パレスは2人で、下が3人でね。さあセットスモークで
They look to shunt it out of the way. A execute in this pistol round. Exertion, the only one here.
And look at winning the pistol. That's going to put
さあここでス
Vitality
テア側のこの車線が通るわけだけど。
They can almost feel it, and so it's so important the MOUZ are able to hold on, but things have not started off well. Torshi tapped out first, bomb getting planted. MOUZ on the back foot in this retake already. Exertion sees ahead there, but didn't attempt it. Doesn't want to get caught falling first over the stairs. He's waiting for his teammates to get set up back in CT.
Reflash ready for that CT spawn.
Exertion's crept up, crept in, and now his team try and hit the go button. One on the board for Exertion, but here's the backstab. Flames has players with their backs turned, and it's too easy for Vitality. I mean, that's so entrenched, a man up, desperate times, calling for desperate measures out of this MOUZ team. It's smoke pushes, and it lets them down.
Yeah, it's a brutal plan for Vitality. Usually you'd see a player pop through that smoke into CT with a flashbang. They break the smoke with a nade before they even flash. MOUZ get exposed in the open to all of Vitality. Exposed on the stage. A MOUZ team who leveled up this year, who showed they could with the addition of Spinks. Picking up their first trophy in the first event with this roster change. Studio Merchants no more. But stage or not, Vitality are that final boss.
Yeah, I think it just speaks to kind of the difference in where, you know, the gap between world number 1 and world number 2 is right now. Vitality leaps and bounds ahead of the competition. It feels like their ambitions at this major is kind of nothing shy of winning the trophy. That is the expectation. Meanwhile, for MOUZ, it's all about breaking through this damn rivalry. A rivalry I don't even think Vitality are that concerned about.
They don't even know him, little bro.
They're storming the board. And this force buy getting convincingly put to rest. 2 kills to the good already for Vitality as they move back into this A play. They're going to dodge the stack. They're on to double digits.
Double ramp entry just fed to Robs.
まあ B 側は次
Vitality look to walk it over the line.
まあセーブしてもう一回やり直しって感じですね。
Conversions clean and easy, or maybe not. Will that draw them back? Vitality just pick up pace. Seeing Exertion over on the B bomb site. They're going for this round.
いや拾いに行くのかな。それ拾えればね4人で倍って形だから。いやガリル拾えたのはでかい。
Exertion tries to play for bomb planted for spawn and no kit. This one is done.
リテイクの振りだけしてって感じかな。
So at least going to leave him with something to try and do damage in this next round. But yeah, the window is fast closing for Maus if they want to recover their Mirage.
いいね、ディーグル落としてあげて。
One map that's been good to them in this rivalry.
1人 USP で、まあ4人でって感じかな。まあハンドガン1個ぐらい買って5人でって感じですね。
Right as Vitality power up, it's not even had to really be, you know, the ZywOo show in any capacity right now. It's Flames and Rops doing so much heavy lifting. Not a quiet man in sight for Vitality.
And this is it, Maus. A Maus who look to avenge themselves in this year. It is now or never on Mirage. We said a must win there to take this series. And this rifle round coming up next is everything.
I mean, look, if there ever was a time for Exertion to bail them out with a huge hero play, it's now. He's armed with the hero Galil. Stole it out of that last round.
さすがにピストル1個出して、まあ5人で。まあ何かしらの武器が買ってって感じ。
Vitality are not giving them a thing. Another block successful on that smoke. Or was it? Just about.
It's a palace pop out of Vitality.
さあもうラークにも入らず。エーペックスは戻ってくる。
Concerned about ramp.
まあマウズがやってた形と似たような感じなんで、テイク入れて、音出さないで、まあそこからもう一回リセットして。
Couple of gimmicks put Maus in pole position.
Forget the bomb, you need the kills.
Trying to break through. Apex caught on a swing. Maus.
このガリルのリコイルでマジで当たんないこの。
Brolin's Deagle opens. And some teamwork to take them even further. The quick boost assembled. That's an important breakthrough round for Maus.
ディーグルこれ4発目で当たったけど。
Why wait for the rifles? But ultimately, it only matters about what you do with it. Maus have to start streaking. They have to start succeeding quickly. And they at least have that little bit of wiggle room here in this game. But Vitality will not relent with the buy. Back to the same play.
P2 や。
They've given themselves staying power. They've given themselves a lifeline that they didn't have. Just rounds ago.
Maus know to worry about this ramp. Double nade coming in. 2 eyes set on this position. They know what Vitality like. It's these fast flashes for Apex that sets Flames up for entries. It's how they defeated Na'Vi yesterday. Popping out of Palace. Apex catches Brolin off guard. And maybe there's still hope here for Maus, but Apex has other ideas.
Spill over, but they still don't know about Exertion. Concealed himself in the smoke and ramp. He waits, he bides his time. Oh, they're going to clear him. Hell of a check out of Apex, who has been just a one-man band of this round, done everything, got the openings, and then he's got Messi and ZywOo there to close.
Quick as you like. Maus try jump through off that plant, try and join the chaos. Vitality faked them out perfectly.
Apex are nice, yeah.
There was a moment, there was a chance, a 4v3 for Maus, but Apex steps up as the captain, puts them down, and that's another multi-kill round. I mean, 4 out of the 5 players on Vitality have 3+ multi-kill rounds. ZywOo is not one of them. Doesn't that fill you with hope? For the firepower of this squad, for the form of Vitality right now.
なんか全体的にこの試合はなんかバイタリティの流れで進んでますよね。いや、
No, the thing that's scary is, you know, as Vitality are approaching this date with Destiny, the final off in the distance.
先に頭見えてね、打ってきたのは向こうなんだけど。
Their wins are looking to get stronger and stronger.
ガリルの打ってるやつで。
This semi off to a more dominant start. In their quarterfinal yesterday.
さあ A 攻め2回見せて今度はミッドですね。
It's a Vitality leveling up. This is the extra buy round that Maus are able to afford thanks to that win.
取ってくると。
Off of the pistols. This was the lifeline they gave themselves. It's not much.
So many comparisons to draw between this Vitality and the one of 2023, where they leveled up and they planned their year perfectly to peak for the major. They ran through that major. Sure, the competition wasn't as tough, but you can't say the same this time around. Close game v Na'Vi. Number 2 in the world of Mouse. But Vitality with 6 trophies in a row, looking and storming for a 7th. This could be over before it begins. A B-pop attempted, they've lost the lurk.
It's a good pickup from Exertion. But now it's about uncovering the truth behind this round, and it feels like Mao's are one step ahead. They've brought 3 players over towards this B-side. Spinks tucked in. Exertion floating around nearby. A remolly in the apartments. Vitality are going to come through. Final second play into B. Mao's have the read. Torshi even moving over now as well. They are all here. And Exertion refuses to let Vitality in. 3 kills deep on the round. He's still got more to offer. There's the support from Spinks. And finally, something to smile about for Maus. That is a corker of a round from Exertion.
But doesn't make you feel good to realize that's only the 2nd rifle round that Maus have won in this game. If you take out that force buy. Nice shots for Exertion.
I think a round like that does a lot to make you feel a bit better, though. You had the read, you outplayed, you outmaneuvered the IGL to open up the round down in mid. It was finally one of your star players with a multi-kill.
Pulling one of Zaiwu's moves to block this window smoke so he can climb up ahead of it. You can just see into middle. It's a position that may not be expected.
Apex is walking on him, though, down through lower. Brolin gonna make out like a bandit, just takes his one and leaves. It's Exertion hanging around here. Could fall prey to these players in lower. He's aware of that, though. It's already backed up now.
Winning that gun round at such an important time has allowed this game to potentially close up. Vitality, Deagle force buy into an eco. Suddenly, we'll be looking at a much closer affair. Maus need to capitalize on the chance. They can't let this one slip. They can't even let it get expensive.
Super スーパーキルが出たらバイタリティがラウンド取ってると。さあ、コネクタースモーク入って今度はまたみんなで下がっていく。
Gonna go back and grab this bomb.
いいショートかな。
Means they're walking right into Spinks. Fitting that Rops meets his replacement head on in that cat fight and takes it off with the scout.
I'm scared.
This can't be where it falls down for Maus. Trying to pick up the pieces on this round, trying to recover it. Zaiwu in with a double. And Rops now left to close. His scout will deliver.
No idea.
And this is the Vitality duo that makes this team so terrifying. The backstab in from Exertion once more. Reels in that power duo for Vitality. A very close round, very thin margins, but Maus still hold on.
Dude, any round is winnable with Vitality right now. Maus will take it, they'll take the victory, but they know it comes at a cost, and they know it tempts even Vitality to continue to fight, to keep the pressure on. That would be crazy. They should take a breather. But every single one of these rounds, a possibility for Vitality.
Stop to the final hurdle. Just Eagles now. Maus breathe a sigh of relief.
Starting to build to something though, right? You're in control of the money all of a sudden.
Issue is, as soon as Vitality get that 12, Maus are broke. It's the same rules apply. Keep it clean.
So Maus take one of these in that first half, just a chance to talk things over. The longer you take, the more util your opponents waste as well. And every penny counts this late in the game. Exertion gonna get the spot that everyone's out here in mid. Just don't fall down to the Glocks.
Don't need these fights, Maus. Let them come to you. Jittery.
Feels weirdly tense considering they're only up against these pistols, but Jimmy going to alleviate some pressure, swings out for the fight. The rest of Mao's in behind him. Just takes that first guy to take the risk, and everyone else piles on through.
Yeah, it's fine to do it all together, right? Just don't get picked off one by one. Mao's crunch in middle. Vitality had nothing to stop him.
ミラージュ版コブルインはマジかアヌビス版コブルインでしょ。
And another shot to shut this down for Vitality. They've been waiting. Force Eco, now the buy. No op for Zywoo, no need really.
Not the prettiest of investments though, right? You're pretty limited here. So Vitality left relying on the gunfights now. Don't get me wrong, that's been good for Vitality. Flames, especially. No! It's happening! Flames can see through smokes! That's 2 kills from him out in mid. Mouse have no idea. But Spinks and Exertion, in the most important round of this game, it ends without them seeing a single enemy. And now Vitality have gained a lot of ground. Torshi gonna catch one back, but Vitality are all the way through A. They are in the spawn of Maus. Torshi holds on to the cross, but there's a smoke down. Elects not to take the shot, and this might just be a save and a necessity for Maus. Yeah. That double kill from Flames. He never even saw them.
What the fuck?
Intuition on the smoke spam. The guy 18 and 12. The runaway success story over the first map of this semi-final has put Vitality onto map point.
He had the opposite game yesterday against Na'Vi. He had like 3 kills towards the end of the map. Apex said, hey, it doesn't matter, Shahar, you whiffed. We still love you. He goes on to find the 2 multi-kill entry rounds on Mirage to end that game against Na'Vi. From bottom of the board, saved that series. But even here, he's doing it from the top. Unstoppable entries, sets his countrymen ablaze. And Vitality sit on map point on Maus's pick. The must-win for this series. This spells disaster. This spells destiny for Vitality. What can you do?
チーターですよこれは。
Just a brutal way when you finally start to find some rounds in succession and feel like that's how it all gets decided. You know, all throughout the major, we've been crediting Maus with this resilience, having to go on the 0-2 reverse sweep. The comebacks versus Spirit. But they've got to show all that in spades in this game. Zywoo brings us back into a 4-on-4. Haven't even had to really say his name. Vitality still have a trump card left to play. Rops stacking the deck more and more in Vitality's favor. 4 versus 3, their eyes set on this punishing A play. Can Exertion be the guy to stop it? No! Rops and Zywoo will wash over them. And in this final round, that terrifying twosome, that duo that strikes fear into the core of every roster, coming alive for Vitality. They have a day with destiny, a perfect season in the rearview mirror, and a victory on Maus's must-win Mirage. Vitality are now just 1 map away from the grand finals in Austin.
Yeah, even though they come into every gamer's favorites, they're still taking on some of the top teams in the world. Vitality have absolutely run over all their opponents. This is a Vitality who look for a legacy, who look for an era, who look for yet another trophy in the cabinet. 6 in a row. Crowning it with a major, and they sit within reach of that.
7th clash here for Vitality and Maus. I've got Flames here, man of what could be said the first map of Mirage. In your own words, how did Mirage go?
It went for us individually for me, and it helped because we won key rounds in this match, and we did damage on the ecos, so it was tough for them to build the economy and get back into the game. Overall, it was a good map for us.
So tell me about going into Inferno. You're in a semi-final here at the Blast TV Austin Major. Tell me how Vitality goes to close this out.
Well, we need to play our game. We have good preparation against them. We're confident, and we just need to stick to our game.
Thank you very much, Flames.
Thank you, boss. Have a good one.
Vitality Clinic is in session. They arrive with a sting in their tail. That may have been Mouse's map pick, but they don't give a damn, Maui. They completely steamroll over them, and they're catapulting themselves further and further, closer and closer to that grand final.
Really felt like Mouse had us going there in the first half, or maybe just the first few rounds. I felt like the game was shaping up to be competitive, but once Vitality got guns in their hands, a little bit more utility, they got in the server, and I don't even know if Mouse was able to reclaim any of that fire that they showed at the very beginning of the game.
That's what it felt like. It felt like Mouse remained competitive in the first, say, 6, 7, 8 rounds. Vitality took a little while to warm up into the game. Flamesy took a little while to warm up into the game, but as soon as that happened, it felt like we're back to normal. We're back to Vitality being significantly better than their opponent, significantly better than Mouse, and I feel like I've seen this game before. You know, that's the feeling I'm sitting back with, that I know we've been watching a lot of grand finals, a lot of games between Vitality and Mouse, but a lot of Mirage game has happened as well, and the way they lost this one, Mouse, I feel like I've seen it transpire before. So a little bit unfortunate, but it is what it is.
We got to hear from man of the map, I would argue, Flamesy there in a couple of winning words after that Mirage. Nice. Let's dive into a round where he had so much impact, because he had that A site on lockdown, Jacob.
Yes, and I want to give context to people who didn't watch the quarterfinal yesterday. Navi played well against Vitality, and Flamesy was being exposed on this A bomb side, sitting a lot behind balcony, not getting a lot of stuff done. Today, proactive, finding the fights, you know, moving around, constantly being proactive, constantly looking for a fight, winning the duel on towards ramp, again securing a man advantage for Vitality. Once again out here, looking for another fight, winning the fight as well, whereas for yesterday he was very static in his position. So I'm 100% sure that Flamesy and Apex together have been talking about, listen, you need to be a little bit more proactive. You need to put yourself out there, trust your aim, trust your instincts. We can't wait for you to be baiting for you, to sitting on the balcony, to maybe play a bit more passive than you did yesterday, and you could see the clear difference. Flamesy had so much impact on the CT side, and he was a big part of the reason why Vitality got back into the game.
I mean, also on the round where he had that great pop off towards A, unsung hero Joker player and Rops just sitting in Palace though allows him to take those fights with so much conviction. So much of Flamesy is predicated on what he does himself, don't get me wrong, but when someone's able to cover one of the primary angles that he would normally have to worry about, it makes focusing on the fights so much easier for him, and then you can see the mechanics are on display, like instantly two-bulleting almost everybody on the Mouse side that comes up to fight him.
Yeah, let's dive into some Rob's highlights as well whilst we're at it, because you talk about that 1-2 punch aspect, Maui. I think that's something that's severely underrated about Rob's, right? It's not only the kills he's able to get in the server, it's how he's setting up the side for the rest of his teammates, right?
It's something we don't talk enough about. I think when we talk Counter-Strike and players and teams, you can have a player like Robs on your team, and yes, he will have an individual output. And as you can see in this highlight package, he's getting a lot of kills, but he also makes the players around him so much better, because you can count on him. You know exactly where you got him. I think me and Dupree had this conversation earlier as well, that one of the worst things to feel as a player, and probably one of the biggest weaknesses we had as players, was that if you didn't know where your teammate next to you were, you didn't feel comfortable on the server. You were afraid to take the duels, you were hesitating a little bit. But I think if you're Flamesy, if you're Apex, if you're Saivu, being next to Robs, you always know where he's gonna be. You always know that you're guaranteed that he got your back, which means that, as you said, you feel so much more confident going into the duels.
He maintains space for you. He covers your blind spot. If you don't know what's going on that side of the map, don't worry, Robs has got it, okay? You don't have to be everywhere all at once, and I feel like Robs there, it goes to show that he added so much in terms of dynamism for the team there. So he's moving around so much on CT site. I think half of his highlights are on the A bomb site. Like, he's not the A anchor, by the way.
This isn't to dunk on Spinks in like any way, shape or form, but it was something that like I'd always talk to Apex about, right, is you know, having to micromanage some of these moments himself. And when you have a player like Rop stepping into that situation, you can trust that he's going to go off, he's got that killer instinct, he has the mind for these type of situations.
Rops just understands so well by looking at the radar at a glance what he needs to do to fill in the gaps and to assist his teammates. He creates such a great flow with the team, and he rarely ever breaks it up. I mean, yeah, again, like to draw the comparison with Spinks, Spinks would sometimes just go do what he feels like he needs to do in order to get some kills for himself. But I feel like when I watch Rops Pimp, it just feels like he's always accomplishing some objective that is allowing the team as a whole to take better map control or at least hold it.
I mean, the smart view viewer would be thinking, well, then he must be easy to read if he's doing the same thing over and over again. But Peter even described that to us as well, that he's one of the hardest players to prepare out for because he's changing small details all the time. Could be the angles he's taking, could be the position he's taking, could be the timings. And I think he's very good at conveying that to his teammates as well, communicating that this round I'm going to play it in this way. I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive or a little bit more laid back. But he's giving the information to the teammates so they always know where he is, whereas for the opponents, they can never figure him out.
Let's look at some of the details from the T side then for Vitality. We got round 16 coming in. What's the story of this one for you, Maui?
Well, this one felt like it was getting pretty scrappy. You know, there was a body block on the stairs smoke. It felt like Exertion's opening kill was going to lock down this bomb site. But Apex throws a molly onto balcony, then flies out the balcony with a flash from ZywOo, and then he just goes crazy on the bomb site. When you say that there's a spoil of riches on Vitality, it's crazy that you also even need to include the IGL as another source of firepower. With a little bit of setup, Apex was able to turn around on its head and able to find a double entry, which was then closed out unexpected or completely expectedly by ZywOo. Like, when he's in those late round moments, he's always going to get the job done at the end.
That's the cool thing about Apex. I think we brought up the rating graphic as well during Dallas, where he's actually getting better and better and better the deeper you get into the playoff. His grand final rating is significantly higher than his group stage rating, which in itself is crazy.
Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. Let's dive into another nuts moment from this map. Round 20, Flamesy, he's just got that sixth sense. He doesn't even need to see the people for them to be dead people.
I mean, let's be honest, it's the most important round in the game, because if Mouse is winning this round, they're making this game very competitive. Look at the buy right here from Vitality. A couple of AKs, but no utility, no nothing. He's just spamming people through the smoke. That's also part of the magic. That's part of what Flamesy brings to this lineup. You can never count them out.
This round sucked the air out of the Moody Center, where everybody felt like a comeback was brewing for Mouse, that they finally were able to find their feet in this map. Like, Flames just sucked the life out of it completely. Getting 2 kills through smoke like that, just understanding the tendencies of his opponents that well. There's so little you can do when clearly the game planning was just better for Vitality, along with the fact that the individuals were sharper too.
One individual that you wanted to see more from, particularly on that CT side, which unfortunately we didn't, there just weren't that many rounds available for Mouse, that was Torzi. Wasn't necessarily the story of the AWPers on both sides of the server here on Mirage, but yeah, we did need more from all of the individuals, including Torzi on the side of Mouse.
Of course. I mean, I feel like Torzi always has a hard time when Mouse starts on the T side. He's just not, in general, the best rifler, doesn't always get involved in the best ways when he's on the offensive side. And I feel like, unfortunately, he maybe would have got things going, but then, again, we saw Flamesy just kills 2 of his teammates through smoke. They stack the B bomb site. He's playing a game of saving, and I think you could pick a lot of people from the Mouse side. It doesn't just come down to Torzi for me, even though we do want to see more from this guy. Like, Brolin had a really hard time getting into rounds from the A ramp. I mean, we had Yimpat, who was barely contributing as well, and I really wanted to see him pull something off, but it was, to me, it's just one guy. It was mostly just exertion for me.
That's true, and to me, that's the scary part as well. You just saw ZywOo's rating here as well. His KD, true KD, 14 kills, 7 deaths. You look at the scoreboard, you think, that's nice. Only 58 ADR for ZywOo, not necessarily having too much impact in this game. And when he's not fired on all cylinders, and Vitality is still significantly better than their opponents, there's such a long way for them to win that game. And I do want to single out Torzi one more time, because I do think the last couple of months, he's shown us that he is the guy you can rely on. He's shown that he's been one of the most reliable players within the Mouse camp. He's been the one player who, in certain playoff games, would always step it up, would always be the hype man, would always deliver on the server. But the more we see Torzi play here in Austin, the more I realize that he's not having a great tournament. He hasn't had that pop-off game, or he hasn't had that game where he's the one taking charge of a half and really dragging his team into it outside of being the hype man. And I want to see that Torzi, because he's good enough for it. He's shown us that the last couple of months.
Does this smell like the end for you, Maui? Of course, we've got Inferno awaiting. That's Vitality's map pick. Is it over for Mouse? Is it the last time we see him in the Moody Center?
Ah, God. Every time, I mean, like, it doesn't bring me any joy to say that I feel like it does end here, but Vitality have just been so darn good at Inferno. Yeah. So Mouse on the other side, not even necessarily the best map for Torzi. Oppers don't always have the best opportunities to get the sniper in play on that map. So I want to see them punch back in this one, but if you really push me to it, yeah, I'd say Vitality 2-0.
The odds looking forever in Vitality's favor as Inferno does await on the horizon, but not before we head things to a quick break. Join us back after it to see if Vitality can go 2-0 here in Austin.
Inferno is going to be the second map of the series. Now, the last time Vitality and Mouse played against each other, Vitality won. And the main reason why is because they were always a step ahead at Banana. So let me show you what I mean. So this is the last match that they played against each other at Dallas. It first starts off with Mezzi. He clears the top of Banana. He gets mollied off slightly, and they're forced to fall back. But this is not a bad thing because Vitality know that with this Molotov, it slightly signals the fact that they could actually be going for the retake nades. They might actually retake it. So here's how the setup looks. Vitality, they end up boosting up here towards that half wall position. And ZywOo, he takes a very particular spot here towards the area. It's because he actually goes on top of the half wall position. And by going on top of the half wall, the first thing that happens here is that you'll see that part of his head is actually covered from this roof. Now the second thing, more importantly, is the fact that this roof actually covers the most common flash that the CGs like to throw. It's from that spool side. If you try this in a practice server, you'll see that when you throw this flash, you won't actually get blinded from it. You won't actually get blinded from it. And the reason why is because it covers it. If you crouch, you'll actually get blinded from it. So that's the first thing. They set up ZywOo to actually play on top of that half wall position, while Apex and Mezzi, they go here towards that left side. Now, when they go here towards that left side, notice that they play anti-flash. By playing anti-flash, the idea is that if ZywOo gets hit by uncommon flash, then both Mezzi and Apex will be able to swing around and catch it right away. You'll see here that Mouse, they walk right into the trap. They end up throwing the deep retake nades, which signal that it's going to be a retake. And as soon as the flash comes in, you'll see how it unfolds. From ZywOo's point of view, he does not get hit by the flash, not even a little bit. This allows him to catch exertion. He gets traded. And for Mezzi and Apex, because they're playing anti-flash, they're close enough to actually capitalize on that second trade. Once they get those kills, they know for sure there has to be a third player. And that's because with the flash and the timing of the peak, there has to be a player towards that left side of sight. For both Mezzi and Apex, when they come in, they are only looking towards that left side. They don't even bother with CT. As soon as they find that kill, that's the sight. And you'll see that from the CT's point of view, from Spinx's point of view as he comes in, or rather exertion, he has no chance against ZywOo here playing on top of that half wall position. With that spot, such a powerful one, and for Spinx coming through, even though he gets a trade, he gets taken down right away. So that's why Vitality were able to beat Mouse last time, is because they were able to control that banana side so well. We'll have to see if it changes this time.
And I don't suspect there's going to be many changes coming into this one, Danny. We know Inferno is such a solid ground for the side of Vitality. Right now, Jason, it's just feeling like it's written in the stars that Grand Final berth, it is right there for the Bees.
It's there for the taking. The exact map you'd want to be playing if you're Vitality, with the Grand Finals on the line. Incredible record on it. They've been extremely dominant, although let's just put it out there, their last loss came to Legacy in the group stage in the best of one, which is a little bit crazy to think about, but I mean, Vitality, we just saw a map where ZywOo just played kind of like average for ZywOo, and they still handled business, and it's all good in the Vitality camp.
Vitality's looking strong, you know. If I'm on the Mouse side, you know, I'll be looking worried because everyone on the Vitality side has been showing, you know, we've seen, especially Flames, they had a really good showing coming into Mirage. And we know, like, coming into Inferno, that Banana is going to be such an instrumental way. It's a key objective that both teams want to be fighting for, and we especially know the dynamic duo of Apex and Flames is going to be going there. So it's going to be a brawl. Everyone's going to go for their fight, but I think that Vitality is looking that sharp, and they can grasp and feel that the trophy's just within reach, and now they're just living up to this expectation.
And I think that's the thing that Mouse has to get at going in the start of this map, is if Flamesy has the map one that he did, and then he's also going to be in Banana, such a critical point, you've got to slow him down and cool him off really, really early. That has to be a point of preference for them in their game plan of saying, in the first 3-4 times we go Banana, we must win this fight. We must make them respected, because Apex there with Flamesy, we know Apex just likes to set his boys up. That's going to be really dangerous.
Perfect segue to asking you, Dupree, because you played with the man in the middle here as your in-game leader. How do you feel like he's developed in terms of his calling on this staple map of Inferno?
Well, I think it was just, Apex is just finding ways to just constantly create something new, and also just trying to stay one step ahead. I think that's one of his very identical things as an in-game leader, that he wants to be one step ahead, that he knows that if we just hit the A-bombs and that looked really well for us, we're just going to continue doing that. Like, they're the one that has to come up with the game plan. And then if they actually strike back and start winning, he just shifts the pace into another direction of the map. He's so good at always trying to find his opening. He's really good at using his players. Yeah. And the way that he just plays Banana alongside Flamesy, we're going to have to see Exertion come up with like a master plan to try and get some openings, try and stay live, but at least dictate the space for Mouse Sports.
Yeah, I guess the question would be, Austin, are there any Mouse fans still awake in this arena? All right, that's good, because I was about to say, if Mao's actually want to win this game, the only way is Exertion is going to be a good guy, but Torji, I mentioned he's kind of the superstar without PR. He's got to show it off on this map. Once you get to the CT side with the AWP, and you can see him moving around and controlling the map and taking multiple different angles, Torji is going to be the guy who can get this team started on the defensive side. If Mao's want to win, he's got to be there with the AWP.
And not to just harp on this particular individual, but because you bring his name into the mix, Dupree, when you start off a series and you're feeling a bit sluggish, you're not putting the numbers on the board. How on earth do you turn that around when it's your back against the wall? It's elimination on the line for you.
I'm glad that it's Mousesports because they've shown this multiple times. It's not the first time they get to do this. I'm curious to see if Mousesports actually find themselves in a more comfortable position by being down 0-1. I think it's actually at this point.
It's like, very familiar for the event so far.
It's at this point that the Mousesports has done this multiple times around, and that's definitely something that would reassure each other of in the break that, guys, we've been in this situation before. This is known territory. We know how to handle this. And I feel like in general, Mouse is just at a place where they just need to be looking at a shot and saying, guys, we know that we're one map down. We've done this multiple times before. That's definitely been a talking point. Right now, they just need to get their individuals on par, and they need to start playing better together as a unit because that is their strength, and we did not see that to full flourish in Mirage.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I think, it's going to be a hard thing for them to do that because I think there's also, with the amount of head-to-heads these teams have had and Vitality's beat them so many times this year, I think there's a certain element if you're Mouse where you might go into a map confident. You might win the pistol round in the first 3 rounds of the half and feel really comfortable and really confident. But then when things start going south, in the back of your mind is just that voice that's just like, here we go again. We know how this one ends. It's happening one more time. And that's the voice they have to fight over, to start this map, to get them in the right place.
And they're going to be starting fighting on that CT side of things. That is a Mouse. Let's see how the odds are stacking up. It was pretty handily in the side of Vitality. Damn, okay. Not favoring Mouse in this one. Is it over, Dupree? Is this the end of the line for Mouse here in Austin?
I honestly don't think that Mouse can show up in the way that we wanted to, and also in the fact that the mentality game is not there. So yeah, 2-0 Vitality.
Well, we've called Mouse the comeback kings. They're going to need to do it at least one more time. It all goes down on Inferno.
This is the year the Mouse have shown unshakable will throughout every match, including on the stage. But this is past the pale. This is a Vitality that they have not been able to walk into, that they have not been able to stop. A Vitality that have only one goal in mind, a major trophy, more silverware for the cabinet, and it feels inevitable now.
Austin, you've been a great crowd, but Vitality are one map away from being our first grand finalists. They say everything's bigger in Texas. Now's the time to prove it. Austin, let's blow the roof off this place!
もう始まっている。もう始まってるじゃない試合が。
Never been closer to the
これがバイタリティですね。ピックがバイタリティだから。
6 months of Counter-Strike. This season has led up to exactly this. A grand final in sight.
なんかこれ USP も持ってきてんのか。なるほど。
One map to get them there. The go-to map.
開幕長い距離だけ USP で、いなかったからデュアルベレッタで手前守ってってことか。
賢い。But Mouse still don't shake on their setup. They come out of Mirage, beaten, battered, bruised. They need to show us our best game yet.
さあまた先に仕掛けたの。
That's Exertion, he hit the ground rolling. This is the bomb right here. And as he tries to give chase, Messi refuses to part ways with the round. Brings us back into a 4-on-4. Aggression being spotted over towards B. It's going to send Vitality back into an A play. Jimmy down in the pit, doesn't miss on the first bullet. Has Torshi nearby to lend a helping hand, and between the two of them, they're going to melt this play up through short.
Felt like Messi saved the round. All he did was delay Mouse from the inevitable. Taking that pistol yet again, just as they started Mirage. And a brief moment of respite for a team that really needs it. Definitely am intrigued by the map, just because Vitality came in slow to this major and was stalled out by Legacy 13-3, a dominant victory. But you can't really expect that again, can you?
No, and usually I wouldn't try and read too much into that, right? With how deep the Vitality win streak was, the fact that it was the first time they played a BO1, and that was what broke the streak. That kind of leads you to believe, okay, maybe it was just a slow start, kind of a quiet day. They ran into Legacy, who were red hot all the way from stage 1, not even supposed to be here, right? But then they went on to never touch Inferno again on the remainder of their run to get to the semi-finals.
Saving it for playoffs?
I am hoping that's why we see them bring it out now.
The question if Mouse could garner anything from that demo, whether they could learn, whether they could use some things against Vitality. Certainly stolen the pistol. And Vitality offer a rare bit of respect.
やばい、グロックラウンドだ。もう絶対何もないのにどうしよう。
Some respite for Mouse.
やべ、コーヒー入れてこようかな。
We'll get to
このラウン
dance
ド
over
なん
this
もないんで、
eco.
コーヒー。
Tell us how you really feel.
This is good. We're pre-recording the sounds for tomorrow's game.
まだお湯が沸いてなかった。
Little mid pop.
Now that no one's sure how to feel, let's see how this top mid play goes. Little farm up from Torshi.
ここは無理だね、グロックじゃね。
Oh, you like that, Austin? Enjoy it while you can. Nice clean 5 alive for Mouse. That's a relief.
どうしようもないな、もうあそこは。しょうがない。
Now Vitality look to come in and take that first buy. Flames and Banana on this T side. That's who I'm looking for. That's who the desk we're talking about.
インフェは中途半端なね、武器買っても1円にならないからね。こうして早めにこうやって AR 買った方が賢いっちゃ賢いですね。
So Flames has got to kick this one off again.
さあ B 側ホールド。
Respectful stuff over towards Banana so they can dodge that initial volley of nades. House wanted to take some real estate here in their first rifle round.
でも結局取りに行くんだ。
Aggression down through Banana. So they'll get the SMGs up close.
さあ B 側はどうするんだろうね。手前に1人入れたから、まあ、スフィンクスが引いて、まあ、ブローラーはスモーク入れてホールド。
Smoke nade, spam, everything lands. Exertion looks like he wants to commit in this position. He doesn't have to. Takes his chance.
Flames is actually leaning over towards the apartments right now with Robs. They're on a double lurk.
人数かけてアパート取りに行くって感じかな。で直線もクリアして下の階段まで。アパートはクリアした感じだね。バイタリティは。
But nothing's been offered.
I like how much time Mouse are buying, right? They're cycling smoke spot on Banana. They're still jump spotting. They're really trying to squeeze out as much value as they can from this position before Vitality take it back. They've avoided the majority of the nades. Finally, Mouse set up in the site, and that's exactly what Vitality wanted.
さあ B は一旦あのスモークを使わせたって感じだ。さあロングスモーク、エーペックス、リスモークですね。さあ残り25秒。
Vitality to make this work.
He smoked down on long, but look at this. Spinks tries to make a play through it.
さあ残り
He's ready to
18
come
秒。
through and backstab this A
結構
play.
時間。
Oh, Messi's got eyes on the prize though.
出たと
Smoke
こ
held.
見られたね。
Jimmy down in the pit.
Wow,
Support
nice.
nearby. Torshi never far away, but they will get overrun.
プランター間に合う。
Robson Zaiwu, this dastardly duo again, trying their hand at another 2v4.
いや
Zaiwu low on health. Rob's going to back up, play for the long game down here in the pit.
1ラウンド目の USP もうまかったけど、今回も上手だった。
Thus far, Mouse have actually been good at breaking through this duo. But that's got to keep up now if they want to save themselves in this semi-final. Molly going to force Robs out in the open. It's walking the line, and Zaiwu exertion can't regain control. And Vitality's duo too strong in their first 2v4 of Inferno. That's how Vitality get on the board.
Dastardly as ever in the 2v4, and no fear for Vitality, swinging out, trading contact, playing it perfectly. Mouse tried to hold off on giving them the info as long as they could, but they had to start running, and Zaiwu sets up perfectly with Robs to win that round. Torchy's AWP. No hesitation, no armor either. Gonna try Forcy's opening kills. Vitality dodge death.
今の当ててきたらもう最強
A bit
で
of
す。
info going early in the round. Maybe forcing a reposition for Torchy. He wants to take it back to Banana. Vitality this time, a little more eager to take this
あ、
space.
スモー
Less
クやめ
utility
て、
for
もう
Mouse.
純粋にあそこにそこにしたんだね、スモーク。まあ安全に手前まで上がってる。さあ、ブラッシュでカウン入れようとしたけど、
Play got accelerated, not on his say
す
so.
でにザイブ入ってたから。
Torchy attempting a bit of a sequence here, actually landed 2 in that first bullet. Damage done onto Zaiwu as well.
さあ今のアウトスモークで B2 確定だから。
Locked in at the top of Banana. Vitality were keen to pick up the pace there, but that opened the smoke down has thwarted
ロペス
them.
はまだミッドの
Torchy
プ
gonna
ッ
reposition.
シュホールドだから A は全然取れてない。
And if Vitality just stick to their guns, if they go back to this B play, it's only Brolin there.
Exec ready to come in. 45 seconds, one man hold. He's got
さあ
nothing
寄
but
ってくるけど、
NMP9 cowering behind
まあ
the
瞬間的に
boxes. He's
4v1 だ
gonna
ね。
need multiple kills to even make this
ザイ
interesting.
ブを取り
Brolin
にして。
springs the trap, isolates
わ
1v1s, takes 2 of them. Vitality charging him down, but Brolin's got more to say. Robson Apex now.
さあバナナも早い
Dance
よ。
in the post spawn. They're not going to get this bomb down. They're getting hounded by Mouse.
じゃあ MP9 ちょっと時間かかりすぎちゃったねあれ。
Finishes the job. Mouse respond swiftly.
ザイブを取りにして、あれすぐカバー入ってれば、プランとしてポジション整えてってできたけど、キル入んなかったからね。これでフレームズがキル入れ
Started on such dire straits as well. Even the misread, leaving Brolin alone at the B side of the map, but he was able to pull his punches, gets out with a double kill. Keeps Mouse looking pretty.
いいんですか JP ザイブで
Vitality just back down
ア
to
メリカいないですけ
pistols.
ど大丈夫ですかね
So lead looking to get widened here.
本来だったらな俺が出てるはずだったんですけど
Definitely don't want to jump the gun, but this would just be unbelievable for Mouse to win this map. A map they've never beat Vitality on. Not
さあ
exactly
イ
a
ンチャ
go-to
の
map
立ち
for
上がりは
Mouse.
なんかマウズの方がうまくいってますね
On the Vitality,
なんならこのピットの人の打ち合いが強いし
over and over this year.
B サイトもねうまくいかなかったし
No, I mean, this was the map they got 13-0'd on in Lisbon.
Exactly. Off the back of a devastating T side. Well, Mouse with an early reset.
B 側に
Slowed the roll of Vitality.
さあ APEX のフラッシュで入っていかなきゃいけないって感じかなスモーク抜けていくのかなどうすんだろうねスモーク抜けかなワンチャン作るために
This round should be simple.
いやスモークは待つみたいさあ残り時間目いっぱい使ってロテートさせないようにして
Should be fine for Brolin, especially with Spinks on his way over.
Ollie will churn through these.
さあもう一回チェーンされるぞこれスピンクスに
Spinks is just out of position though.
スピンクスは来ないバイタリティとしてはちょっと
have managed to get through the initial volley, but here we go, the cleanup for Mouse. 5 alive, a flawless round. This CT side feeling pretty.
If anything was ever gonna happen in this game, it's a perfect storm now for Mouse. They're winning these rounds, they reset Vitality, they take clean anti-ecos, they build economy. And as Flames even said in that post-game interview, even on our ecos, we were making them close. We were stopping Mouse from ever really getting back in that game. It was a false cosmetic comeback. Well, this is a strong start for Mouse. This is a different game.
No, and you felt that, right? Even once Mouse kind of started to streak together some rounds, they instantly.
意外とねいい勝負するかなと思ったんですけどミラージュはね普通にバイタリティが終始強かったですマウスがやりたいことをあんまやれてなかった感じが
Finally find a success in the rifle rounds.
オーバータイムになるかなと思って
accomplish on their map pick.
They've leaned away from Banana heavily since that
そん
first
な
go
こんな
round.
でイン
Given
フェルム
the
ですね
space
インフェは
completely
まあマウス
over.
がラウンド先行
So
してるって感じ
Vitality take it keenly.
さあフラッシュさあ対策してるから
Flashing back in, Mouse a constant threat to reaggress, and they come in with numbers. Late peek for Zaiwu does nothing for Vitality. Unflashed, but all dead.
しょうがない。もうこれはもうこっからワンチャンあんのかな。こっからワンチャンあんの。
And make no mistake, this is a different Mouse to the one that opened in this semi-final.
I just couldn't even see a world where this was going to happen after that first map. Because we're not even on an Orpus map, are we? And that was a right-click game back on Mirage. No AWP moments for either squad. Zywoo barely even fielded it. Riflers doing the heavy lifting for Vitality. Well, Torshi's 8-1 now. Mouse have other ideas on this CT side. Seizing the opportunity.
さあ3マップ目トレインなんだけど、まあ個人的にはねトレインまで見たいから、インフェマウズ取って3マップ目がいいなっていう。
Is this just a flash in the pan, or is there more to this for Mouse? 5-1 lead, more pistols for Vitality.
さあバイラウンド潰されてまたエコラウンドですね。これスパイかな。
Vitality still feeling the burn of this slow start.
さあどうすんの、どこ行くんだろうね。B もうまくいかなかったし、まあ唯一
still kind of showing the scars from it once again. They lose that last round. It's straight down to pistols and armor.
でも映画ねピットの打ち合いがちょっと強いから。
Now Miles are playing aggressive. Look at that push for exertion just all the way down.
抜けてるんじゃないフラッシュで。
They're going to come through this. Waiting in it, Vitality get flashed through.
ロングだけど。
Play it fast up into the Torshi.
いやーそれはそれはもう。それはうまいわ。それは無理やね。
3 kills from the Mouse AWP on the long side. And what was meant to be a change of pace only leads to a faster demise. Vitality locked out. Torshi getting fired up.
First cheer I've heard for Apex all week. And he's got to dig deep on this one.
いやーでもさすがにこれもうナイスワンだったね。3キル目。
Another flawless round. An empty T side. A red hot Torshi on this AWP. Sitting 11-1 for Mouse.
さあちょっと攻め方そろそろ変えてったりしてくるかな。ハーフスモークにしてきた。ハーフスモークであそこ上乗ってフリーキル狙うって感じだった。
I've seen Torshi scream the house down for far less.
ロペスももう早めにパート上がってるって感じなのか。今回はちょっとスピード早めですね。バナナも早めにしてパートのエリア取りも早くしてきた。
Just keep this control again and again. That reflash is a big problem here though. Torshi's all comes into position. Vitality, cower in the corner. Molly forces that peak exertion, just loses the angle. Torshi thinks this is getting wrong, but Xerxes saves him. Bails out his AWPer.
Look, the whole time this was happening, Vitality were trying to take space over here in A. And that kill rolls out the red carpet for this A play to come through. Brolin stealing himself away. Has some problems on the cross. And he'll get back to long in time. Just Mezzi left for Vitality, reduced to dust by the Torshi AWP.
Oh, unstoppable. Just goes in again and again and again. These repeats with Torshi are humbling Vitality.
なんかうまく人数有利作ってね。でバナナとこのミッドをうまく使いながら。
Rock solid holds on both bomb sites, time after time. Gun
なんかロ
round
テート
after
うまく
gun
できない
round.
でテロではめていくパターンっていうよりかは CT のこのマップの守りの強さというかそういうので最後押し切れないね。
Apex had a lot to say to Spinks on the other side. He wasn't too nice to him in these head-to-heads.
まだバイタリティ側としてはねちょっと早めにエリア取りして。
Say that he's hiding, try and get in his head to make him play different. Well, Spinks is starting to feel like a bit of a defining character on this second map, and that was a high-impact sequence from him over on Moto.
Well, this is definitely the scariest head-to-head for Spinks, not just because it's the best team in the world, but because it's the team he was formerly in. But he has been the piece that has leveled up this Mouse squad ever since his addition. An immediate trophy on a stage at Cluj since Spinks joined. And they go from strength to strength. Showed up against Spirit when they needed him. But to now do it against your former squad.
いやこのねバイラウンドうまくいかずにピストルラウンドになってっていうこのループきついよなプロでやってると。
I know after both orbs took a holiday on map 1, relieving to see Torshi come into Inferno, giving you this much faith in a Mao's comeback. Another round where Torshi will find himself in the right place, but a missed opening. He goes back in. Risky move on the orb, but Torshi makes it work. Keeps this in Mao's favor. Is going back the third time. Too much! No, Torshi! Always room for more. Shooting for the stars as he pulls out this Tech 9, but he's got support. Mao's might be hitting like one, but it doesn't have to be a one-man army. The strength comes from the team.
0-8.
And Apex slinking out at 0-9. Flip the bird as Mao's are running away with Inferno.
14キル1ですよね。このブリーチでいうとなんか挽回みたいな。いや本当このアウパーが無双してるときはね、本当試合取り切っちゃうから。
And this is where like the one thing you could not put against Vitality at all coming into this major at any point was just recent form, right? Like with the win streak they have, with how the first half of this year has gone, there was no doubting the form of these individuals. But as mentioned, Inferno, this was the one map they didn't ever look to again after taking that Elka legacy on the first day of stage 3. This is the first time we've seen them play this map since then at the major. And you're feeling very, very rusty right now if you're Vitality. And Mao's have had a lot of time now to get warmed up and acclimatized. Prepared for the task that lays ahead at 8-1.
さあさっきは A で今回は B で。
Their brains have started thinking about a map 3. About this series going the distance.
バイタリティ側はまあ B3 人でホールドしたり投げ物投げながら A 側はフレームズとロケスただフレームズが最初TG 上がってったんでフラッシュもらって
Apex spam down through that smoke. Vitality cordoned on both sides. Go back to Banana. This orb retreats.
お寄せて寄せて A に行く
Mouse continue.
A フェイク B フェイク A さあまあラウンド結構追い込まれてるからちょっと変わったことしないとだけど今回もピット2
Wrapping round the world, Mouse bunker down in the pit.
もう打ち数しかないぞナイスワンさまだこの人が残ってるいやそこのねピットのこのジミーって人がうまいんだよねこのインフェ今日のロングとショートが同じタイミングで上がってきてるのがもう
Unfathomable 9-1 scoreline. Jimmy gets his flowers and Apex is looking cooked. Sneaks into the pit player he knows is alive. Disastrous day. After the cleanest Mirage you could have asked for Vitality, they were never in a position where they were going to lose that map. And now on Inferno,
インフェのピットって強いけどさらに強い選手入るともっと強くなるっていう典型的ななんかもうアルファーも15キル1ですだからまあでも攻め自体は悪くなかったんだけどね
Towards Banana, it's another grouped play, just a set piece into this B site. Three strong though, Mouse have got the read.
だからラッキーなことにアウパーは A 側なんだよね。さあただ B 3人気づけるか。ナイスワン。試合で勝つしかない。いやこれスピンス気づけるのかなもうチャージ抜けてっちゃったから。
And dividing conquer proving to be the answer for Mouse. Too strong out. And Mouse pulling ahead in leaps and bounds. The best half they've had versus Vitality at 10-1. It doesn't get better than this.
Tricky Spinks, that third piece. The Vitality never expect, stabs them in the back, and revenge must taste sweet. Vitality from so hot to so cold so quickly. Where did this come from for Mouse? Delivered. On a silver platter.
If you're Vitality here, you win Mirage, you feel like you're almost in the final. That must have been the feeling. Like, this is such a proven matchup for you. You're always going to have respect for Mouse as, you know, the second best team in the world, but they've never been a challenge to Vitality.
Cool
Apex and Butler, he's just bringing them rounds right now. Mouse chowing down, looking for 11-1. They sneak through the smoke. That's a surprise, but the flash gives it away. Xerxon got to be very careful.
Oh, he's missed his timing as well. Apex been allowed to creep out, but it is hell. Oh, Brolin was waiting with you till that one gap lends Apex the room for an opening.
They can still save it.
Gonna rely on this boost. Spinks once more. Gonna have to bail out Mouse. Throwing into the spot to succeed, but he can't find a thing.
Nice jump. ジャンプでクロスしたおかげで
Plant in for Vitality. It's been a long time since they've had to play one of these post plants.
ちょっとエイムがそれてましたね。
More nades. Lay damage on thick. No round has felt at all safe for Vitality at any point in this game, and so it's fitting that round 12, as everyone is wounded, everyone's hurting, hangs in the balance. Jimmy playing it first.
What the fuck?
Flames taking some space away. Robs with the cross, but the pressure getting to him. Aim shaky. He's now left in this all alone. 1v2 laid out in front of Robs. He's got to get them off this bomb. Time is running out. Time is up. Mouse domination on Inferno, and redemption awaits.
To bring Jason Lake here, the founder and CEO of Complexity, also the boss of North American Counter-Strike right now, at least in my eyes, for a long time. Jason, we got a North American major. You're back here watching it all go down. Just tell me the feeling you have when you see all this.
You know, I was talking to my son a minute ago. It's really hard to put your finger on what I'm feeling because Texas was kind of the birthplace of global Counter-Strike. To be back here from those hotel ballrooms in this amazing venue with this amazing crowd, it warms an old man's heart. It's an amazing event. I'm really grateful for Blast and their partners, you know, for coming back to Texas.
How important is it that we're not just to Texas but to America overall to have more events and see this? Because it seems to me the fans are really loving it, and I feel like it could potentially inspire more players to come to the game and to grow, which NA wants and needs.
Yeah, Americans love Counter-Strike. We've always loved Counter-Strike. We haven't performed as well as we would like in the past years. That's you know, not a secret to anyone, but this crowd has been fantastic. The passion they bring is as good as any other crowd I've seen around the world. I'm very proud of it. Just walking around the facility and having people stop me and talking about their love for North American Counter-Strike and the efforts that we're putting in with the NA Revival Series and working with Flom and Mythic League, they're really resonating with people. So we're doing what we can to try to bolster our region, and having a major here really means the world to us, even in the very hot hot months of summer here in Texas. But we're really grateful to have the major, and I'm very proud of all the fans here.
And I want to just ask this of you on the spot. Is there some inspiring words you can say to future hopeful professional players in North American Counter-Strike?
You know, things in our lives come out of our heart, and our passions come out of our heart. And life hands you some serious ups and serious downs. And all I can say is that the business people like me will continue to try to foster a place for you to grow. I think if you look across different video games, Counter-Strike has proven itself, in my opinion, to be the world's best esport ever. So there are other great games you can play, but if you're a talented gamer, you want a global future with one of the world's most passionate fan bases, there is no second best to Counter-Strike.
And he's been here doing it since the very beginning. That's why we love Jason. That's why we all love Counter-Strike.
まあでもトレインで爆発されないだけ良かったって考える方がなんか良さそうな。まあインフェはしょうがねえな。まあトレイン見たかったから。やっぱこんだけねアウパー当ててくるとね、なんかやってるプレイヤーもなんかちょっと恐怖を感じるんですよね。ピークしようか迷った時にやっぱちらつくんだよな、アウプ。
Mao's set Inferno ablaze in the best half they've ever had against Team Vitality. With their backs against the wall, they fight out of this hole and look to send us all the way into a 3-map series. It's not just a strong half. It's looking like the most dominant game they're ever going to have against this super team.
相当うまかったね。3ラウンドぐらい1人で2キルぐらいやってるから、さばいてるからあそこで。見上がった時にはね 3B だったりとか3人で逆プッシュしてきたりとか、なんかバイラウンドの時にうまく噛み合わずに。
Always a part of those triple B setups in that first half. Brolin doing a good job of making sure Maus were in position to succeed. And if they win this pistol, that spot in the grand final is still open to Maus. Vitality this round is everything. They were going to try and pull off an 11-1 down comeback. It's got to start here. It's got to start now.
いややっぱザイブうまいね。
3 kills under his belt. Now the only man left at this B site eventually will get overrun. And at any other time of day, a Zaiwu 3K would be enough to win you around like this.
Mao's wave, Mao's walk away.
天才プレイヤーなんですけど。
Your time is wasted. Your time is up.
いやこの多分完成で気づいたんだろうな。
Will the penny drop?
ただ走れないからスニークでちょっと映側に寄りながら。
Vitality have no idea. They're considering it. The timing is so good. Maus get the plant. They get the time to pick their positions. Pick wisely. A major final is on the line.
ちゃんとアパートの人も変にクリアリング体出さないでね。最低限のとこだけで。
Very rarely see Vitality feeling this uncertain and this fearful in these types of rounds. They get their first tidbit of info now, and that's going to galvanize the push in. Vitality have control over the site. Brolin swinging on out. Will knock out that first player, but it's going to come down to a clutch. Mezzi versus Exertion. And Exertion caught on the pushback out. This is going to be real close. Mezzi hasn't got it. No time. And so Maus 11 opportunities to save themselves in this semi-final.
切り替えてトレインに行くしかないね。いいけどしょうがない。
They have as many chances as you could ever hope for to lay this map to rest. After winning out that 2v2, it's almost game, set, and match that this one's going the distance.
We want train as well, and we might just get it. Austin, are you ready for a third map?
See if Maus give the people what they want. They'll go slow into this first and potentially the last round they've got to play. It's a cobbled together buy for Vitality. Apex with a Mag 7. Flames and Mezzi nearby to help him. There's been no output for anyone not named Zywo. Apex suddenly has his moment. Jumping Mag 7.
Oh, what the fuck? What the fuck?
From Apex up close.
One more.
Yeah! Oh, yes! Apex has wings! 3 kills from Vitality's captain on the shotgun atop Banana. And a wild way for this round to go. Mouse have not had to run into that one before. 2v3 now, and they slow it down still. They'll leave Jimmy to watch Banana, but what do you even do here? Apex has just ruined your entire first gun round. Are they still gonna try this? Smoke for Jimmy, it's just time is so low.
It's the best odds, just walking in.
時間かけたことによって 2B が 1B になった。
Smoke on the site. Mouse want to get weird with it. 12 seconds. Plan coming in. Fake to force the
さあ、音出させ
spray.
て。
Gives away his position. Mouse now need to
ただ
stick
メジは
if
時
they
間
want a
稼ぎ。
chance in this post spot. It does go down just about. And low health on Mouse, but don't count him out.
I thought Apex had done enough here. Both these players are low, but Vitality's still feeling shaky. It's Zywo on the push out that looks to secure it. The one guy with output right now for Vitality. It's the 2 Frenchmen that keep the Inferno comeback, which I'm really hesitant to call it, alive. It's a second round for Vitality.
They stop this from being a total embarrassment, and it's only going to be a minor one, potentially. But I don't think Mouse are in a position to worry right now with the game they're having, with Torshi and Spinks firing off. You can ride off a jumping Mag 7.
Yeah, it's a wild sequence though. I think it's gonna hype up Apex. He needs anything he can get to get him smiling right now.
Just to light you up before that third map, because Vitality, this would be devastating to go into that last game of Train, getting humiliated on your home map, on a map Mouse have never beat you on in 18 maps between these teams this year.
The map that broke their win streak, that they didn't play again throughout the rest of the major.
And to be honest, that felt like a positive, them losing their win streak. A bit of pressure off this team, not thinking about every single series in stage 3. But here in the playoffs, there's no second chances. It's now or it's never.
Out they come. Zywo gonna light him up, and he's got support now. Kept that pit player alive for long enough. Robs gets in a position.
You can't doubt Zywo. He's, like you said, he's the only guy who's giving Vitality any reason to believe in this game.
Robs just started climbing up the board with him, and like it is that duo that lends any intrigue to this.
Why do I hear you entertaining this?
You shouldn't be. It's 12-3. But there's a reason Vitality are number 1 in the world.
Stop talk, start train.
ザユがあそこキルでき
That's
な
what
くても
Mouse
まあロ
say.
ペスいたからキルは入ってたのかなさすがに。
But one more eco before we get there.
これで12対4かな。
That last round.
Yeah, Torshi.
Gonna be the hardest to get.
Yeah, that's where we are. Yeah, let him know you saw it. Go on. This is good. This is getting Torshi fired up. This is the rifle round coming up next for Maus. This was their chance to calm the nerves, talk things over, interact with the fine folks watching in the crowd a little bit. Ooh. Oh, God.
No, stop.
No one's going to lose this round. Not Vitality, not the best team in the world. It's fine. Zywo, pair of hands.
ザユの KD
I
が
mean, this is a
プラ
guy
スに
who
なり
said
ま
he
し
was
た。
pissed when he found out he was number 3 in the
エースだ
world.
それエース。
It is the worst he's ever done.
稼いでいかないとここで。
Exactly. And that absolutely lit a fire underneath him. Zywo's strength to strength this year alone. Higher heights. Not just an individual.
いやでもここからマウズがずっと攻め失敗してオーバータイムとかなったらちょっと面白いですけどね。なんか CS ってなんか、ね、打ち合いなんか守りカッチカチで折り返されたりすると反対側も守りのなんか流れになったりとかするから。
Zao's juggled both an AWP and an M4 over towards long, so he's got options open in this round. Him and Rob's left responsible for this A side. It's just two-man hold.
バイエコになるから。
That's going to let Vitality play with extra resources over there towards B.
半分ぐらい、4ラウンド、5ラウンドぐらいだと思うから。
Even hearing the two different sound cues is misinfo for Maus if he fires that M4. It doesn't look like it's going to come to that. He's already put a lot of distance between himself and the long wrap. In the meantime, Exertion has walked his way up through Banana. Still, it is this A play wrapping around over on long. It's just the tag from the ZywOo AWP.
We'll take that.
Spinks will make it past. Oh no! And as ZywOo went to give chase, he goes right into the trap.
ロペスはクリアリングしていくしかない。
Rob steals himself away, but this is a battle he has to win. A battle the whole war depends upon.
終わったかもしれない。エイペックスが4キルしろ。
Trying to hit this timing out through long, right as their attention is on Rob's. Advantage starting to dwindle. Maus still get out with a plant, but it's not done yet. Jimmy tagged up, brought down low. Everyone's
なんか絶妙な噛み合いの末。
Maus have the advantage. They hold the cards. They're in this post plant. But they're losing bodies. Torchy trying to provide.
ショートから来ちゃう。
And it's on Torchy. And this one gets closed. Maus.
いや頭高いね。
Resilience remaining a factor in this semi-final. And Train looming off in the distance. A dominant map win
バイタリティ応援している人からするとちょっと頭抱えるような、なんかわかるな。
A miracle for Maus to do it in that way, that dominantly on a map that Vitality absolutely love. It is a beautiful game of Counter-Strike from Maus. It is a capitulation of Vitality, something we don't see or say every day, and Maus make it all the way to a third map.
Indeed, Spinks, one of the best performances we've seen out of Maus versus Vitality ever. Where did that come from?
Yeah, we said during the first map, this crowd was a bit too quiet. Of course, they don't want Vitality to win, so we said we have to get a third map and give some rounds for this crowd to enjoy.
Is the belief there? Is the belief there that this is the day that you can beat them?
I don't know. We'll see. We are confident on Train, and yeah, we have a good chance.
I'll let you go. Thank you so much.
The most decisive victory Maus have ever had over Vitality on a map they have never beaten them on so far in 2025. And Dupree, it could not have come at a more opportune moment for them. We have a semi-final on our hands.
I don't know what made the thing that changed.
まあ当時爆発しちゃったらしょうがないよな。本当にこの3マップ目になんなかっただけ良かったと考えるしかないよね。こんだけね爆発してキャリーする瞬間があるけど、やっぱレーティングが 1.08 ってことだから、爆発する確率はそう高くはないっていう、そういう感じだと思うんで。
I was gonna say that's probably the switch right there. That's the one that was flipped. Was Torji came into that CT side with the AWP, and like Inferno's a map. I mean, Device always showed us how you could dominate the map of Inferno on CT side with an AWP. Torji's just kind of building upon that legacy where they just moving around the map, grabbing your one kill here, changing position, grabbing another kill here. He was an absolute beast, and I mean, he made it so difficult for Apex and Vitality to read where the weakness on the map is.
No, he was just an absolute menace in the server, particularly considering, you know, the slow start, the lackluster approach that he had on map number 1. I was asking you about it, Dupree. It can be so tough when you're put under pressure in these situations, but you sold me on it. You know, Maus, they have thrived in these situations, but they have been in the deficit position. And Torji, man, it's just so beautiful to witness his comeback.
I kind of feel bad for letting Mouse Sports down and saying that I didn't believe that I could actually win. So I feel kind of bad about that.
Don't feel bad. You're fine.
Device once told me that what creates a great athlete and a great and true professional Counter-Strike player is that it's your capability of bouncing back, and that is what has stuck to my mind ever since playing alongside him. You know, he told me this multiple times. I think that Torchi showcased this one. He's had a very inconsistent tournament. Let's be honest. Like he has not been looking like himself, but he did have cases like this one before where he just decides to just show what he's capable of. And I think Maui talked about it. He's like a little bit of a CT side version. And the fact that they got to start on the CT side maybe was also instrumental for Torchi to have such a good game.
And it also helps if you get 11 rounds on that CT side, and you don't have to play too much of a T side as well. Those are the nice games to just go easy. It's cool too because you talk about that conversation with Device in the context of Torchi, but it's the same in the context of Mouse. If you look at their entire tournament run, has been like punched in the face, went 0-2 on day one, bounced back and went on their rattle of best of threes to get all the way to the playoffs. And now you're looking at them get stumped here and respond as well. So I mean, we kind of touched on it in the stages where this was happening of like this could be a turning point for Mouse. This gauntlet they've had to run could make them sharper come the playoffs. I think we're seeing a little bit of that right now.
When they've got their backs pushed against the wall, weirdly it seems like that's when they're in the most comfortable position, right? Obviously we had our eyes on Torzi for good reason coming into this map. Banana was also another position that we had to keep looking at, and one of these teams was not like the other in this particular area.
It's almost like you can't spill Banana on it. Like you can't spill Inferno without Banana. It's like Banana is always going to be like this thing that always has such many key duels, so many key fights, and it just keeps going back and forth. You see Mouseport being very proactive. You know, it is if you can control Banana, whether you like want to go for the aggressive thing or you want to like work on the retakes, that's where you have to put in your effort. And I think that Mouseport did this really well. You know, they took their time, they tried to figure out, maybe they had a lot of, you know, they have been playing Inferno against Vitality multiple times. You know, they've been trying to go back, look back. What have we actually been doing good? What have we been doing bad? You know, what can we come up with? And I think that the approach they had, being very aggressive, at least when they've gotten the Banana, flashing out, but actually having the numbers, that's what stood out to me.
I think it helps too that, I mean, we could just say Vitality played an awful game as individuals. I think Flamesy and Apex at one point were both 0-8, which is like, I don't care. Like even ZywOo cannot hard carry you to two players like that.
We'll get over the negative side of the coin soon.
Okay, we're still on the positives.
Don't worry, I want to stay on the hype train.
I
want to hear the hype from the side of Miles after a litany of CT rounds. So let's check in with them at the end of that first half.
One is really low.
I have two questions.
Enough more. I'm just gonna pick ruins a bit. Yeah, Adam has a smoke for Banana. I'm picking ruins, guys. Do it.
Yeah.
One dark.
Guys,
listen.
Should be two dark, maybe one pool. Two dark, maybe one
pool. Can you flash dark for me?
Yeah, flashing dark. Flash.
Flash a pillar.
Boom.
Close that dark pillar. Pillar. Advantage should be Robs. Adam. In the smoke.
I'm blind. Did I kill? Yes, Banana. Banana. Adam. Let me hold it.
This one.
No! Nice guys. Nice guys.
Let's go, man.
Fucking shit, bro. I got you.
Mouse hype moments are fast becoming some of my favorite, Peter, and there was a lot to be celebrating after just the absolute decimation on that CT side.
That was a very classic TeamSpeak snippet of what happened inside a server and things is getting very hectic. You know,
it sounded chaotic at the start.
It is always a little bit chaotic, but I want to actually like look at the clip and then I want to point out Spinks what he does just before the execute actually happens. He takes like a small breather and he's like, guys, listen, there should be multiple player dogs or one maybe pool. Like he's, instead of just, you know, yapping out what he's going to do, whatever, he actually goes into the conversation, trying to get a little bit more calm and actually addresses what does the situation actually look like. And he's actually the guy that goes in and takes charge. And this is the charge that I think he likes to have inside of Mouseport. That he's a guy that can go in with experience and have this cool-headed thing, visualize thing and say, this is how it looks, guys, this is how we approach it. And it was, you know, that takes a lot of effort to do that in that specific moment.
And you love having a guy like that as a teammate. And I mean, I remember it was one of the things as a coach when I was with Liquid too, it was like, we'd go into certain situations and it would look okay, but you have no one actually quarterbacking it. Like everyone kind of knows you're going for a retake, but no one's organizing and no one's coordinating what everyone's going to be doing. So having someone come take over in that situation, especially when you're already up 10-1 at that point. Like it could be easy to just sit the round out and be like, whatever, it's over, we got it.
And this is something that we worked a lot with back in the day, especially when we came into Vitality, you know, setting up the retake, you know, who actually has the overview, who has the utility, who can do what for everyone. So that was really great to see that he stuck with it and then actually transitioned that into Mouseport.
Moses, this is your time to shine. We've done the good.
Perfect.
Let's get the bad and just go straight to the goddamn ugly. Flamesy, to begin with, obviously singing his praises on map number 1. It took him 9 rounds to even post a single kill. kill on this map. That's dire.
Yeah, and I mean, especially, again, because we emphasize Banana so much on Inferno, and we've always talked about it plays out the way Middle does on most other maps. Like, you just have to be able to control it. Yeah, like, that's your B defense. Apex, that's your B attack as well. Apex is over there doing some work. I mean, this is just really rough to have a map 1 like this, not able to carry it forward, but then just struggle to have any kind of impact, and no one else on the team is able to kind of pick up the slack. This was, I mean, one of those games that was very well played from Mouse, very strong individually from Mouse, and very poor individually from Vitality. Like, when those two coincide, that's how you get blowouts like this.
I also think that is one of the reasons why the map was so one-sided, actually, because we're so used to seeing Vitality being so well-drilled, and whenever they don't get the openings, whenever Apex and Flames is not out there creating the openings, if Saiwu and Robs doesn't do it, then you kind of lack the space that is the space that Saiwu and Robs actually thrive so much in.
Yes.
And this was actually the case for Banana this time. Like, they wouldn't get the openings. Mouse was always getting ahead. They were always finding the openings, and that made Saiwu and Robs feel like, guys, we're in a position where this is not familiar territory. I don't remember the last time. Maybe we go all the way back to the Legacy game. This is like one of the ass kickings that we've seen Vitality has been going for.
Yeah, and I think too, like, with this Inferno win as well, I think it's obviously massive for Mouse, not only to extend the series, but we kind of marketed Mirage as like a must-win map for Mouse. So the fact that you've come in and just dumpstered Vitality on their own pick, that's a swing of confidence.
Yeah, 100%. You know, this is also what Spink said in the interviews. Well, he wanted to give it to a third. You know, he wanted. Maybe they were not too proud of the first map from Mirage. You know, they wanted to show that we can actually do better than this, guys. This is a major semifinal. We're here to play counter. We're not here to just sleep.
Yeah, it might look like dire straits for Vitality right at this very moment, but there is a third map awaiting. And Apex, he had some thoughts about looking onwards to map number 3 during halftime of Inferno.
Guys,
Release the pressure as well.
Oh no, yeah, exactly. Fuck it. Okay, it's live. What happened is live.
Yeah,
okay?
exactly.
No, let's try to make it competitive. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's try to come back to the game. I don't care to lose this map. We can focus on train. I don't give a fuck. What I want right now is to go back on the game. Okay, all together.
Yeah.
It's gonna be important, buddy.
Is that what you want to be hearing in a situation like this, Dupree? You know what? Let's just throw Inferno out of the window. All hope is lost. Let's just focus on train.
I mean, this is again showcase how good of a captain that Apex is. You know, he addresses the situation. He takes responsibility, saying that I don't care how we're gonna. I don't care if we bounce back. I don't care if we lose this map. I just want to focus on next because this one is looking really bad for us. The most important thing is that we just try and go back into the game. And I've found myself in this situation multiple times where, whether that being the first or the second map, that you're not really getting to a point, you're not playing that well, then you just have to focus on the positive. You need to find some kind of positive inside the negative, and that is just getting back into the game because they know the third map is going to be the most important one.
And I think what's cool about it too is I like the way, it's kind of like the best way I've heard like a leader distill kind of the idea of one round at a time, right? You make that goal, you shrink that goal down from winning the map to like, let's just make it, let's have competitive rounds. Let's start working ourselves back in, and you make that goal a little bit smaller so you have at least something positive to latch onto. Like, yeah, we did go on a little streak of 3 or 4 rounds. We picked it up, but man, if that first half was a disaster, whatever, forget it, now train. It was almost like he started like the between map conversation just early.
Well, Miles, they are biting back hard, which means we do need to decide who will be our first grand finalist on train. Tell me a little bit about this map and, yeah, exactly what you think is going to be. It all comes down to Train. Mao's biting him back on that second map of Inferno, which pushes us to this very decider. First of all, gentlemen, are you surprised that this is a decider, right? Mao's had a choice, Dust 2 or Train. Does this pick surprise you?
I'm a little bit surprised because I think we've seen Mouse play Dust 2 at this tournament at a high level. We saw their CT side be extremely strong earlier in the tournament. We've seen improvements on the map of Dust 2 as well. So I personally thought that they would lean towards Dust 2. Because matter of the fact is they have played Train a couple of times against Vitality and they have never ever beaten them. In fact, Vitality is the only team that's ever beaten Mouse on Train. So it is a map they're comfortable with, just not against Vitality.
In the same vein, I'm surprised that Vitality's second banned Nuke to also allow this to just be an option between Train and Dust 2. But either way, I think Vitality are looking at this one, and because of what Pimp said, they're smiling about this kind of map 3.
Any particular individuals that we do need to be looking for? Let's start with the side of Mouse, considering they were absolutely on fire on map number 2.
Yeah, I think it was great to see Torsi come alive. We've been calling for it over and over. We need to see the best of Torsi, we need to see his AWP presence, and we got to see that on Inferno. Now on Train, it's a little bit different, you know, it's hard Maui, it's not the same old Train with the long distance duels. You have to get up and close, you have to involve yourself in the duel, so I hope Torsi's gonna bring the same energy, the same willingness to fight early on in the rounds and establish himself on the server. For my money, Torsi is the key to victory. We saw what happened. The second he starts playing well, Mouse looks like a complete different team.
I mean, he was fantastic there on the CT side, propelling them. If you want to take the flip side, I mean, how can you ignore ZywOo here? How can you ignore the guy that's the greatest we have right now left in the tournament, maybe the greatest we have of all time? If he is really what people say he is and what he has proven to be, he will be a difference maker here on map 3. He'll will Vitality to the grand finals.
And I think Vitality are feeling comfortable. I think they're feeling confident coming into Train as well. A lot of people are questioning, why Train? Are you that good on the map? There's been a couple of close games, but if you look throughout history, they played the map 9 times ever since it got introduced, and they won 8 of those games. A couple of times against Mouse. The only ever loss was against Falcons in a game where Falcons and Monacy popped off completely. Apart from that, they've been consistently playing Train at a very high level. As a matter of fact, when you look at the win scores as well, most of those wins are single digits. Most of those games are not even remotely close for you. So I think if you're speaking to Apex, if you're speaking to Vitality right now, they feel super, super comfortable knowing that Train is the map that will decide their fate.
And speaking of Vitality, they've chosen to start on the CT side of the equation. What do we expect in terms of the setups here, Maui?
Well, one thing that I'm a little worried about, if there was any sort of gap in the defense that I think Mouse needs to focus on, it's Mezzi actually at Ivy. He was really great in map 1. He's been great in this tournament in general, but I feel like sometimes the choices he makes, the decisions when he's between pivoting for Ivy, pivoting to help towards A, that's when he gets lost in the confusion of the round of what needs to come next. And so if I'm Mouse, I'm targeting that space on the map. And Mezzi's been one of the worst players in the 2 maps that they've played in the past on Train 2 for Vitality.
The cool thing about Train is that there's one position that is so key where it's normally just one guy defending it. Rob's on the small bomb side, on the inner bomb side, so to speak. He's fantastic at doing so, but if he's having a game off, if Mouse all of a sudden gets a feeling that, listen, we can attack both bomb sides, not one of them is closed down by Robs, that's going to open up the playing field a lot more, especially considering that Ivy is a point of contention for Mouse. So I think Robs needs to have a great game for Vitality in order to steer Mouse towards the outer bomb side, and that's when we get to see Messi and ZywOo execute.
There's a few teams that, you know, when you've been absolutely dunked on, that I would be worried coming into a third map. Vitality is not one of those, right? So how do you read this going down? Who is going to be our first round finalist, Maui?
Well, right now we have this established dominance coming out from Vitality. As they've shown, you can have consistency and really just run the table in terms of the victories that they're finding. Mouse, they're trying to bring us back into an age of parity, but I don't think that Vitality is willing to let their era slide here.
Live odds also sliding with Vitality. Jacob, are you agreeing with that note?
It's hard to disagree. There's absolutely nothing that points in the direction of Mouse. We can't find any stats, we can't find any reasoning, and that's exactly why it may happen right here. I think Mouse have a chance.
One more map will decide our first grand finalist here in Austin. It's all going down on Train.
All right, Austin, you guys have been awesome. You mind if we have one more map in this semi-final? Hell yeah. Mouse have torn up the script. This one's up in the air. It's off the tracks. We go to Train, a map that never should have appeared in this series. Vitality stopped at the door, and we're going to have to see if they can close it out for the final.
This is world number 2 versus world number 1. Both these squads are worthy of lifting a major trophy. Both these teams have given their all across this season, but there can only be one
And we're ready to find a grand finalist! That's a first stop on this train yard.
A メインはちょっとホールド気味に
Trophy at the tip of the stage, both teams eyes on it.
B 経由で
Mouse in a match they shouldn't
ラ
even
ダーです
still
ね
be
A スプ
here
リ
in.
ットする感じかな
And Vitality
対するバイタリティはまあ B プッシュと IB もプッシュしたね、ザユとメジーが3
Oh, that's a weird spot for Brolin.
これはノーチ
That's
ャンス
Messi's aggression dealt with to open up this pistol. And so Vitality come in
さ
after
あスピ
getting
ンクスが B
dominated on
一人で上がってっ
Inferno,
たけど
trying
ど
to
うす
be
ん
the
だろう
one
ね
setting the tone. They come through with aggressive
さ
moves.
あまだラダ
Moves that get
ーから
punished.
変えれそうだけど帰って
Moves that Zywoo and Apex are going to make up for. And a 4-on-3 bestowed to Vitality. That bomb
ラダー帰ろう
retrieve.
としたと
And
こ
that's
目
because
抜きでやら
Spinks,
れ
look
て
at the
まあス
room
ピンク
he's
スを生かす
found
た
on
めに
his
時
lurk
間
over
か
at
けてって
B.
感じだね
Spinks v Robs on the extremity, and
Wow,
Robs somehow wins
nice
that
shot.
out. All the advantage for Spinks. Robs
That's
swings
very
in. 2v4 in this post part. Torshi's got to thin the herd. He's got to do it quick. His teammates already fallen. Torshi has no room to move, and Vitality take that pistol back to their winning ways.
いやもうザユ
It's been a while.
ザユナイスキルすぎじゃない今の
Despite that pistol
目抜
for
きに切る
Vitality, I still think
スピン
it's
ク
a
スが B 入
benefit.
れ
We
たか
see
らね
Mal start on the T side here.
A で
Jacob brought up both
やっ
games. The
て
Vitality have
ラ
beaten
ダーから
Mouse
引
on
い
this
て
very
B
map.
に
That
戻って
came
いく
off
って
the
いう
back
で
of
そういう
Mouse
作
starting
戦だっ
CT
たと思う
side,
んだけ
finding
ど
five
ラダー
rounds.
から帰るって
Both
敵に
times
下でキル
and
して
not
たか
really
ら
getting a chance to play their T side with the
そうだよ
momentum
ねこれ
of Inferno. Mouse T side start should be a blessing.
これに横で1キル目抜き1キルで2キルかザユはナイスキルだねまあ結果やられたからねスピンクスのポジションを生かして立ち回る感じになったんだけどそれもねロペスがちゃんとキル入れてったしね
Alright, a force buy back up for Mouse.
前のモロトフ入れて牽制しながら
right off the top.
まあラダ
Win them some
ー
extra
をちゃん
money.
と取るって感じだねラダーモロトフ
Already,
いや
that's
ザ
a
ユ
gnarly
の
wallbang and the nade
壁
in
にプ
combo
ラスグ
with
レネー
it.
ドや
Brolin's round ends in the worst of
さあまた
ways
目抜き
before it even begins. Apex taking fight after fight on these players over in main. He's got teammates here to back him up, and this outside yard is closed. Vitality send a bit of a message up against
Nice
this
rush.
force buy. They'll take it flawlessly, coming in with aggression throughout. It's a good return to form for Vitality.
What a sick way to start that round. Zywoo just wall banging out Brolin in pop. Old school. Vitality come in with a bit of vigor as they jump around corners and chase those
ここはま
kills.
たさっきフォースバイだったのかテックナイ
You
ン
can
とアー
download
マ
the
ーまで
Nova
勝ってたん
Waller
だよ
app now for your shot at the 2000 USDT prize pool.
ディーグル3本
Mouse need it. They're broke.
マウスは今回はラダ
Nature of the beast.
ーの最速は
For that
いか
second
ない
round
でスニー
force
クし
he
ながら
wanted to get out of. That was something to show for, but no kills. Means Vitality get to build up one hell of an early bank account here, just to help hold up this CT side of map 3.
さあまあトレインのテロはねこういう感じになるよなどうしてもIB ホールドまあ当時上登ってったけどまあメインホールドいてまあこの辺のエリア取ってからだよね
Eagles give
ス
you
ピンク
options
ス
at
ともう
least
一
in
人
a
で
map like
まあラ
Train.
ダーはクリア
Plenty
リン
of
グして
chances
る
to pick players out, but Vitality is staying very mobile, jiggling angles, not committing
と
to
さあこっ
duels.
ちはベイトで
Not wide
本
swinging.
体は B ですね
Mouse have no option but to eventually just pop.
さあ B ロンはモロトフとスモ
B
ーク
side
入れ
is
て
under scrutiny. Rops and Zywoo couldn't ask for a better tag team to stop this bomb plant.
ちょっと遅延しながらさあブローランも合流してきてまあ B 側だね行くのはお
Resmoked at 30 seconds. Gonna have to go through that if you're Mouse. Vitality have forced their hand, put them in an awkward position. And so the pistols should get dealt with cleanly. Yeah, there's Zywoo to make it happen.
Makes up for it.
キ
now we have to see what Mouse are cooking, because as Ades talked about, they picked this map over Dust 2 to finish off. They had that choice. A map of Dust 2 that they beat Vitality on before, albeit close. They go for Train instead. They change up this veto. Let's see why.
まあテロのアップは使いづらいもんな。まあ CT はね、出し得ですけど。
This was your gamble. This was your curveball.
さあメインスモーク入って。
So now's time to get their prep in. Apex with a boost.
My God.
Run up over the top of this is being held, but not accounted for yet. Spinks eventually going to knock that player off the top. Robs makes it out of there, but for how much longer? Spinks was going to come through. Ends in an awkward sort of stalemate over here towards B. But at least kept things even. In the downtime, Mouse might now look to use Jimmy and Exertion, who have been waiting to go in main.
This is going to leave Vitality out of position, making this smoke play. There's going to be no one's on guard right now. There's a huge chasm in the map. Mouse can just walk in, and even though one player could go for a flank, surely you don't dedicate both. That is so much resources here for Vitality. The timing looks good right now, though. Mouse have barely recognized the gap they have. They start to take it.
He's the one still back in main, the one that's vulnerable, most vulnerable to this wraparound. Starts off into the site now. So Mezzi won't be able to find him in time. It's a kill through the smoke. Here's that backstab showing up. And as long as Mezzi's here, Vitality were interested, but he's dead after one. Flames out with a swing. Quelled, it Spinks.
Nice one.
To lock Vitality out of this retake.
Yeah, this ain't happening. Mouse on the board, even though Vitality had the info, they had the flank. So risky for Mezzi to walk out there and look for multiple kills. Players can just disappear at any point behind the corners. So nice turn from Spinks, 3 kills to get Mouse their first going round on this T side. And as I was saying, coming into this one, that's what we haven't seen. Fleshed out T side from Mouse, the opportunity to play a full half on the T side against the best team in the world. No better time than a major semi-final. Vitality certainly feeling the pressure.
いやーこの目抜きもね、ザイウのめっちゃ良かったんだけど。
We are but an hour away from crowning our first grand finalist. Who's it gonna be?
Robs with an aggressive move, and Spinks is not ready for it.
わあ、ナイスワン。さあ3人確定したね。全員確定したね。
They'll meet Mouse out in main. Might end even. Zaiwu now flanking. Mezzi left out on the road in front of them. And Zaiwu gets that spot on Jimmy.
見えた。
They've lost him.
The bomb's away from him here. He might have a chance to find Mezzi in the back lines. They've got no idea where Torshi's gotten to.
見えてないのか。
Only thing he has on his side is the element of surprise.
ただメジーのポジショニングが
Even then,
素
with
晴ら
each
しい。
passing second,
サイト
Torshi
だと
doesn't creep up.
このコネクター
Vitality
で B
consider
側
more
の
and more
牽
options.
制してんのでかいね。さあちょっとこれメジーとの入れ替わりで
Torshi's making no effort to go
た
get
だ
that
2人
bomb.
で
He's playing for the kills
行動
here.
するっていう選択したのはでかい。
Zaiwu's AWP is on this angle. Can Torshi
いや
deal
ナイ
with
ス。
it? No. Sneaks right into Zaiwu, delivers him that kill.
いやちょっとメジーがねカメラ外してコネクターに行った時にちょうど当時入ってきたから大丈夫かなと思ったけど一回2人で行動してポジション変えてコネクターで B 側と A 側守るっていう形にしたのがよかった。なんかこういう細かい超人戦のこのムービングとか連携の仕方が本当上手だよね、バイタリティ。
Seeing what you can get away with, Vitality testing the limits on their CT side.
メジーとロペスの連携とかも良かった。
By sending Robs straight up the stairs, we need a smoke on that molly just to stay standing. Mouse have a boost for the top of red.
さあレッドコン。
While Vitality sit close to main, no one tempted.
ブースト読み。
By this top angle.
登ってくる読みブーストですね。
Mouse's move for their opener goes nowhere.
さあスモーク入れて。 まあ一旦 A 側は抑えられたから、まあ APEX は A から B に移動してた。 トレイン難しいんだよな。この A4 にしないとね、開幕守りきれないからね。
Jimmy late look. Miles grouping now at a minute mark.
エイペックスは本当発見するだけって感じだね。ロペスのために、ロペスのポジションのために。
Really lacks on this outer sight of vitality, but this could be one way to get an early warning system.
さあいいフラッシュ入りそうだね。
Flames up top. Gets away with a lot of damage. That's Brolin squeezed out from Pop. Gonna try and run it out into the yard. Zaiwu's AWP is on the second bounce. Coming alive. 3 kills deep, but why stop there? As long as Mao's still draw breath, there's hope in the round. And so Zaiwu's looking to get rid of it. Mezzi offering up assistance. And Spinks left to save. Watched his team get decimated from the safety of Pop Dog.
見してきたね、ザイウ。うますぎだ。
Now this save not guaranteed. Rops is trying to remove him.
さあロペスが削れれば、
Apex also
これ
walking
キル
up
入
on
れば
Pop.
相手までフレコだね。うやない。
That is a punishing hunt. And so it's the sequence from Zaiwu, the hunt from Robs, maximum damage done to Mouse.
いいキル出たね、ザイウ。
This lead might be about to grow even sweeter for Vitality.
Yeah, well, the first map was a rifler's map on Mirage. The
この
second
さ、メ
map
ジャ
was
ー大会の
Torsh's
ね、
map.
この目
And now we got a
撃。
CT started train. Zaiwu is expected to be
なんかす
comfortable.
ごいわ、
He
見
is
てるこっち
expected
も。
to deliver high impact round for Zaiwu. Multi-kill on the AWP. And with no camera smoke.
いやー、ザイウのリプレイないのかよ。あるよな。ナイスワン。
Stylish shots from Zaiwu.
うますぎ。
Miles back to something desperate.
Let's step up on everything, guys.
さあスピンクスもね、ロペスキルしてるから。
Great season so far, guys. We can do it.
しかもノータイムでやってんのか。そうだね、ノータイムだからスピンクス400ドルだ。さあインフェと真逆の展開でトレインが進んでるね。
They were about how they showed up to Inferno.
Doesn't know they're close.
さあナイスモロトフだけど一人抜けてる。さあザイウナイスワン。もう一人 ID 確定で。ただその騒ぎに乗じて B が上がってくるのをロペスはちゃんとモロトフで止めてるって感じだね。ああ、なんかもうみんな上手だよね。なんか陽動を入れて片方で叩くっていうこの戦術をなんかミラージュのねモロトフの使い方からもそうだけどなんか上手だよね本当にバイタリティは。さあ B はラークスモークだね。B アップスラークスモーク。スモークはあんのかな。フラッシュ2個しかないのか。さあフレームズの位置的にはすぐ B には寄れる位置になる。さあフラッシュで入ってきたね。いやーうまい。
Meant to be nice and easy for him. That's 1 kill back out of exertion. Erlen trying to close distance, but Apex already here. Support available from Flames. It's just very tidy for Vitality. They're leaving nothing to chance.
No one overplaying there. Flames could have easily reswung it. Apex calls, I have the cross. He peeks on his
ロペスは手前の
teammate.
車に張り付きだからフ
Right
ラ
now,
ッシュは当たんなかっ
Vitality are just running over these rounds
たね。
by or eco.
さあまたこのバイラウンド潰すと
Full control over Inferno. Felt
相
like
手
he
またエコラ
couldn't
ウンド
miss a
だ。
beat.
あ当時アウプになった
But
ね。
here a map where your AWP can dominate. The conversation is all
さあ
on
メジ
Zaiwu.
は A メイン
Torchi's
スモー
finally
ク入
pulled
れ
out
てか
another
ら
one.
前 B 側に
And
行
he
く
does have a good
と。
spot.
ザイウ
Torchi's going
は
to try his hand an early fight.
Knows the fight that Zaiwu wants to take.
ラダ
Zaiwu has
ザイウ
other
ラダちょっと
ideas.
攻めてますね。
Straight into the pop
当
side.
時
Torchi
は
won't
A
get
メイン
his
から
opener. Smoked off immediately.
IB を奥で見るとか
Miles' pressure on
ロケー
Ivy,
トしたね。
hoping to give them that engagement.
ラダーもしくは B 側に車線通しに行ったね。
Now they're stalled out. Time wasted.
ザイウどうですか。ザイウうまいね。
Vitality remain patient.
相変わらずうまいねザイウ。やっぱザイウとドンクは頭一つ抜けてるよね、うまさが。すごいわ。
Jimmy on the lurk, Mouse with a sight in mind.
さあこの辺は面白いピークしてんねここで。
Jimmy only gets to play if his teammates actually gain ground here. Zaiwu's now
さあザイウはもうちょっと上がってるよ、フレームス上がってるね。さあロペスはインスモで耐える形にするのかな。いやさあ2人確定した。いやうまい。
I mean, that lurk is irrelevant for Jimmy. I thought he was going to go out Ivy. Obviously, it still depends on his team's success.
ロペス
but
も
he can't even stop
ナイス
that
タイミングだ
flank
った
from
ね。
coming in.
ロペス2球目は入んなかったけど、2面入ってくるやつと B アップス2人から打たれたから、その分 APEX がね、それでカバー入れられてたから、まあ1キロ以上の働きしてたんじゃないかな。こっちもね、気づいてるから。
But they are meeting their maker on this T side of train. Drops a rock at this B bomb site, often assisted.
さあまた。
And it's not going to stop.
プッシュするけど、カバーが。
Where that came from.
おっと。
Smoke's going to get blown open.
ナイス。強いね。
Lead extended. Spinks has been getting bullied over towards his B side of the map. Also been the one guy with any output right now. It's Torshi, Brolin, and Jimmy with one kill each. Individuals just aren't there for Mouse. And with how they've been trying to play, right, running a lot of these sort of split T sides, Jimmy lurking Ivy, 2 players taking pop, 2 players taking main. You need those individuals looking good. It can't be a one-man army on this T side of train.
さあマウズとしては削られたけど、
Even with how resilient Mouse have been throughout this year, throughout this tournament, especially, I won't count them out even at a down bad scoreline, but this just shows vitality in that championship form that they can get humiliated on their map pick.
さあフレームズとザイウが、さあ発見したフレームズ。
Same goal in mind as Mouse hit this outer side.
That was a nice opening, sure. Exertion's taking it one step further, but this is the guy that's been blocking them every step of the way. This is the guy that they just can't get past.
It's
right out from Apex as well. Zaiwu gets his help right as he needs it.
オーバーピークして
And a 3v2
発見して戻ってきて
looking to crumble away from Mouse as sign of the times. Jimmy can't find a thing.
ザイウベートでここの車線でエーペックスでって感じだね。
The odds of Jimmy winning this just went down even lower. Missed timing on Zaiwu. And they make this a painful lost clutch. They're trying to kill him after time.
いやーでそしてまた時間切れで。
And that is after time. That's no more money made. That's 2 players who have dealt with that. And you know, you got to feel for Jimmy in some of these late round situations on Mirage. He was stuck in so many unwinnable moments without the bomb. But I don't think I've seen Jimmy close out a round in this series on the stage. He is struggling. On Inferno, one multi-kill hits. But really across 3 maps here, he is.
あ、最後ほら時間切れでやっぱキルになってた。
need desperately to win these clutches. To pick up a late round scenario. That was Spinks in the Spirit game.
That's after, you know, coming into this, you've just had your best map ever against Vitality. You're meant to be feeling elated, like it's all opened back up again.
いやーなんか今回のなメジャー大会スピリット優勝に俺入れたけど、やっぱバイタリティか。
And make no mistake, Mouse have had no purchase in this game.
Only the second ult for Torshi as well, I feel, in this T side.
And with 2 deaths after time, it feels like even with this maximum loss bonus, even with every way to make money open to them, they're still coming through with these broke buys.
They haven't had a plant in the last 5 rounds, so...
さあまたやる。
Another boost up. Tricking the trade here. And they're fine in this corner. They can even bail. That run boost even gets spotted. Zaiwu not double scoped. Sees the AWP cross over, and he doesn't need to take this fight.
まずはなんとかチャンス作ろうとランブーストしたけど、発見されてって感じだ。
Vitality, every now and then a little play out of spawn, but for the most part they're letting the kills come to them.
Dude, Vitality are so aware of the mindset Mouse are in and kind of the ebb and flow of this game. Like there's a minute left and you still have full belt util on like 3 players. Sure, now they're starting to use a bunch of it to clear this pop control. But they know the pace that Mouse are going to run. And so as this round continues to tick down,
さあ削れて 3V。
in the late round, that will prove to be important.
Messi doesn't know
skirmish.
Yeah.
Ends in a stalemate, and Spinks is allowed to fall back. But fall back into what? They don't have any control anywhere else. And so Spinks decides to recommit. In fact, he's even called for Zershin to come around and join him.
This is ice cold for Messi to not flank at any point in the round. Spinks has to consider it. Messi starting to move. Perfect timing. No. Spinks stops him. That opens up options. You know it's 1-1 right now.
Going to split the defense. Apex, his footsteps coming his way. Vitality's captain looks to deal a killing blow to Mouse. Their first time at trying to stick the landing on one of these 2v4s. Well, there's Apex to make them eat those words. Backstab in. Played perfectly. And this near flawless CT side keeps racking up.
Yeah, captain says F you, Austin, because he's going for that trophy. He is going for the gold. No crowd keeps him down. Humiliation on Inferno, now stepping up massive here on Train. Joint second in the server.
Yeah, うまいね。
Vitality, an
さっき
incredible
当時
reset.
はね16キル2デスでインフェ
An
繰り
unstoppable
返したけど
CT
最
side. I
後
wanted
にも
Mouse
ま
to
た
have
い
the
かれ
chance
て
to
る
play
気
this
がす
T
る
half, and they have. They've been blown out of the map. Tied to the
ま
tracks,
ずはラダー人数かけてクリアして
and no one's coming to save them.
さあラークスモーク
That's
2時
kind
に
of,
向
you
け
know,
て
the thing that's really sucked here for Mouse is, you know, what does Brolin even say? He doesn't feel like he can rely on anyone right now. Outside of Exertion and Spinks nearly clawing back that 2v4, that's the closest they've come in this entire first half to turning around back in their favor.
Yeah, they got the first gun round, and now it's been 6 straight for Vitality.
Torshi Zorp hasn't been
もうさエー
hitting.
スプリッ
Jimmy on
ト
these
かな
lurks hasn't been able to
ラ
find
ダー
anything.
2人 A メイン3人でさあ木も入って
No one's having any issue for Vitality.
さあただここ40秒で遅延されて
This shot was Iwu, does that open it up?
Swing and a miss, and that's given them some room to get out through main. This is just a 5-man hit,
い
something
や
a
う
bit
まい
more
そのタイミン
basic
グう
from
まいね
Mouse.
ラダー出てくる
No
タイミ
longer
ング
trying to split this side of the map. They play it group, they play it together. Can that be their salvation? No! Robs and Zaiwu have other ideas. And so another round where just Jimmy remains.
うまい
And
残
impossible
り15
odds
秒
leveled against him. Jimmy, first
いや
kill
ナイス
found,
いや
but
こ
there's
の
that instant swing.
う
No good
ま
deed
い
going
ね
unpunished.
本当に
Double digits for Vitality.
They are playing the perfect game right now. A
丁寧でうまいわ
flawless map for Vitality.
人数より
blemish
の
on the
少人
record.
数戦は本当に上手だよな
Zaiwu finding every gap.
ナイスか
And it's not even miss-util, it's just missing util for Mouse. They pick up the pace.
いや本当にインフェと全く真逆の展開になってるね
Straight out, straight into this A site. Screw it, try and throw bodies at the problem. Hopes that solves it for Mouse. They will nail these trades. Brolin
まだ
double
ザイウがいる
opener.
ぞまだ
Once
ま
more
だザイ
though,
ウが
it's
いる
this duo. This
さあ
duo.
ザイ
Zaiwu
ウ
and Robs. And even though they deal with one, it's Zaiwu on that swing. The Spinks had to convert. 2 measly round for Mouse. Vitality sit just rounds away from that major grand final and ushering in a Vitality era.
This is the Blacklight Hot Seat Trivia. This is where we're putting some of our players to the test across their Counter-Strike knowledge. They'll be sitting in absolute discomfort to start off with and unlocking potential of the chairs to find some comfort if they can do the questions. First man taking the challenge is Falcons Munacy. How are we doing?
I'm doing very good. I'm so excited.
I got Simple with me from FaZe Clan here. All right, you ready for the questions?
Yeah.
Which team famously completed a 0-2 comeback in the E-League Boston 2018 Major to win it all?
I guess it was Cloud9. To win it all?
They won, yeah.
Cloud9.
Yes, there you go. You started off very strong. What was the most iconic map for Astralis during their peak dominance in 2018-2019?
2 maps, I know, I think. It's Dust 2 or Inferno. Could be Dust 2. I think Inferno.
Inferno?
I think it was Nuke.
Easy, yeah?
Bля, wait, sorry. No, Nuke, I forgot.
Which team won the first CS2 major? PGL Copenhagen 2024.
NATO Swincer.
There we go.
Navi, NATO Swincer, yes.
Where would you want to adjust first? You do the back?
Yes, now it's better.
Oh man, I'm ready.
All right. Which player is known for pulling off the infamous jumping double AWP kill on Cash?
Markelov? I don't know. Guardian?
It was on me and on John, Cold Zero.
On Cash?
On Cash?
Yeah.
It was simple, yeah.
Sasha Simple Kosterev.
You got it correctly. Which team was known as Choke Clan for a while before finally winning a major?
FaZe?
FaZe Clan.
Correct. All right, what do you want to change now? What do you want to get more comfy?
Like this.
Okay, I will just leave like this.
Which player got VAC banned in front of a live audience?
I forgot.
That's Indian guy?
Yep, what was his name?
Man, what was his nickname?
First letter F.
Forsaken.
Yeah!
Forsaken?
Yes, that's the one. Which organization was once banned from all majors due to a coaching bug abuse scandal?
Is it a really famous organization?
CIS region, famous.
CIS. Okay, I know.
Legion, right? Legion, this?
What's the first part?
On H, right?
Yeah.
Hard Legion?
Yes, there we go.
Yeah, it was Hard Legion.
Ah, see? Look, I helped you too much. Damn it, I shouldn't have helped you.
Thank you, James. Thank you. Thank you, man.
Thank you very much for playing.
俺も5分の2やったからいっか。いや、みんななんかチート使ったりね。
This is no rivalry. This is Vitality
ああいう
beating
バグ使
up
ったや
on
つとか
Mouse.
覚えてんだもん。
2 of the 3 maps.
何年後かに
They may have disappeared on
またある
Inferno,
ん
but
だろう
none
ね。
of that
スカウ
matters
ト
when you check
の
the
購
score
入バグ
sheet.
使ったチ
10 to 2 on
ームど
train.
こだみたいな。
That is all you remember. Team Vitality seeking silverware, seeking a trophy, and a major grand final is just rounds away.
さあ、テロ
This is after the perfect season from Vitality.
スモーク投げたね。サンドイッチスモークかな。
Breaking records as they do
サンドイ
so.
ッチスモークとフラッシュで。
And the only trophy left to pick up, the
Wow,
only trophy
うまいね。
left to collect was meant to be this one
確
here
かに
in
サンドイ
Austin.
ッチスモークにフラッシュ入れ
Pistol rounds,
て
anything to
カウ
go
ンター
by.
で
Mouse might have
出
some
てく
more
るの。
twists and turns left in them.
強い。
More stuff from Exertion. 3 kills deep in the pistol round.
If nothing else, Mouse have now been given a chance.
Just got to stop Mezzi. And Jimmy will.
まあ、距離は無理だね。
It's a step in the right direction, but this is a marathon game for Mouse. Has to
いやー、う
start
まい
with
ね、
that
これ。
pistol round.
上手。
And then never stop. There is no margin for error at this scoreline.
まあ、サンドイッチスモークじゃなくても、これはなんか
You don't want to be left with the
決
question
め
of
られて
what
たっぽいけ
if,
ど。
why did they pick train? You
まあ
want to
スモークあっ
hope
た
that
分
there's something in this CT side
逆にも
that
っと決
holds
まりやすかった。
promise for Mouse.
And if we just go off of history, right, the 2 maps we've seen between these teams on train where Vitality have played that T side, they found 7 rounds both
ブロッ
times.
クラウンドで、まあ次
No
バイラウンドで
problems.
まあ4対10
Everything
で、
points.
まあ6ラウンド差だから、
Vitality finishing what they started back on Mirage,
まあバイ
albeit
ラウ
a
ンドで
little later in the
やれ
day.
るのは何回だろう ?3、4回ぐらいか。
But a victory that will remain undeniable. Can lightning strike twice for Mouse? 2 miracles.
いや、こっからオ
Back-to-back
ー
maps.
バータイムとか入ってきたらね、10、10、11、11とか、
I don't
ラ
think
ウンド並ん
Vitality
だ
are
り、オーバー
worried.
タイム入ってきたら、
I think this is also kind of a perfect way for this series to end, right? Like Vitality in full control, as they kind of should be coming into this major. They were the favorites to win it all. And after getting slapped around on map 2, this is a very, very good return to form. For Mouse, the big question around this team for the longest time was always how they handle pressure, you know, developing resilience and handling the pressure of the stages. And that's been the big journey that Mouse have been on. as this roster. And so there's no greater time to showcase resilience or to showcase your ability to perform than at a scoreline like this. We're going to get answers to one of these questions tonight. And so it's clean stuff here up against the Pistols. But this next one, this is the true test for Mouse. First rifle round for Vitality.
MP9 じゃナイスフラッシュだね。MP9 で何キロ入ったんだろう。ああ、メジ。
Vitality respected their opponents today. I mean, we talk about the veto of Mouse letting Train come in.
まあサプでキロ入ってるから、まあそんなにお金はプールされなかったって感じかな。
Bit of respect given to a team
さあラ
that
ダ
has
ー
only
前。
ever taken them close, but closer than
さあ
anyone,
ラダー早いね。
closer than everyone.
攻めてきてますね。さあ最初のバイラウンド丁寧にやろうとするとこうちょっと意表ついてキル入れるみたいな感じですか。ローランとかが。さあラークスモークにモロトフとブレーク合わせてカウンターって感じだけど、まあ、見つからずって感じ。
Mal's holding on for dear life. Vitality are coming round that corner.
うわー、それは強いね。
They actually start to walk it back. Now Jimmy was here as the second man. The rest of Mouse are
フラッ
starting
シュ
to
入って
flock
くるけど、
over as
もう
well.
結構下がっ
And
て
they
るから。
seem suspicious about this slowdown. They flash Jimmy back in, and that sends him right into Zaiwu. It's the Frenchman leading the charge for Vitality. 3 kills from him.
さあ1人確定、1人が分かんなくて、1
Spinks
人
and
は
Broder
カメラ
left
だ
to
ね。
get past. This grouping over in main.
さあ
Vitality
残り40秒
to set
で。
their sights on an A play, and that's right as Mouse move away.
B 読みしてんのかな、マウズは。あ、B 読みしたけどいないから A なんだで急いでやってるけ
rotation
ど。
over to B is going to leave them far away from this 2v4.
Almost too good to be true, think Vitality, but Apex has an idea. He's
い
cottoned
や
on.
逆にここ取られてるの気づかないだろうな。あ、いや、
Does
ワット
hit
か
that shot, opens up a chance. Vitality delayed on this bomb part right now.
ワンチャン
Rob's
出ました
position is potent.
2v4 like this would reinvigorate Mouse. This would get them believing again because it's been 2v4s against them at every single stage of this semi-final. It's Spinks versus his former team.
ロペスのこのポジショ
It was
ン
his
が
removal and Rob's addition that
う
took
まいモロトフ。
Vitality to new heights. And Spinks, now would be the time to show us what he's made of, but he can't find a thing. Vitality lock him out. And it's all the openers from Apex and Zaiwu leave that round on a platter.
Just so calm in these post-parts.
いや、Apex これもナイスキルやな。
Get him out of position, even with a perfect Molotov. Messi dives in, dives out.
最後ナイスキルだし。
The French find 3 openers.
多分 Apex なんかミニ
And
マップ見て
Vitality
た
look
り、
to force the finish. Mouse know it.
ちょっとコールでもしてたんかね。
Buying downfall for their own downfall.
さあマウズはね、このバイラウンド
Mouse burn their final timeout.
うまくはめようとね、ブロランいい感じで上がってったんだけど、ラダちょっと噛み合わなかったですね。
Team Vitality can taste victory.
Last chance to stop the bleeding if you're Mouse. You lose this and a PCU dies up on that stage. It's Vitality in pole position with 8 chances to close it
さあ
out.
グレーダブル。おお。さあラダー最速をワンチャン葬れるかもしれない。さあまたマウザも仕掛けるしかないよね。A メインノックを抜けてうまくチャンス作って。でサンドイッチスモーク投げたメジは A メインには来ないと。なんかうまく前目のポジション入れてるけど、噛み合わないですね。
3 players here. Torshi only adorning this scout.
ただ B の守りは強そうだよ、結構。結局フラッシュ入るからね、ここの車線は通んないんだけど。
First shot lands, but the first kill falls in
うまい
Vitality's
ね。
favor. Sight starts to waver, sight starts to crumble. Jimmy could have the round in the palm of his hands. There's the backstab. Doesn't get greedy with it, doesn't overstay his welcome. But always keeping that pressure on. Just him being here is a problem for Vitality. Teammate starts to join. Missed opportunity on Zaiwu though. And if you take a swing at this guy, can you afford to miss? Exertion will pick it up. Mezzi in the clutch. And don't count him out of it. Bomb on his back. Mezzi with the reposition. Torshi brings the fight up and over. And Maus will withstand it.
まあ 3B はちょっと
And from Jimmy, someone who's had a real rough series. That was a huge moment for him in the round. Didn't get overzealous, didn't get carried away.
ね、ここで一人だからちょっとここがね。
Sometimes your presence is enough, right? That's how Zaiwu gets caught. He goes hunting for Jimmy on upper, gets killed by the
インフェの時もね、スピンクス 3B の3人目でうまくプラントキルしてね、ラウンド取ったシーンあったけど。
Take a breather. AK on Zaiwu, nothing else.
ついた 3B です。ザイウだけ広がる。
Yeah, but it is a moment of respite for Maus.
さあブローランまた詰めてるけど、こうだ。どうする？
They know he's close.
He's lucky to be alive.
さあ一旦リセットだね。1分20秒。
He who has taken Vitality walk away.
ただまあブローランスピンクスで前目で守れてるから、もう IB か A メインだね。A 側は見るとこ2つだけだから。ブローランがもうちょっと車線広げたから、ラダン中と A 面クロスして、まあ IB もそうだね、目抜き。目抜きいい選択だね。
Been waiting all this time for Vitality to finally play their hand, and here it is. It starts with Apex falling down in IB. There's the spot from Jimpat that the rest of them are back in main. Maus have all the info, and that hero gun is kicked aside. Done now by Robs, who opens it with a clean tap. A couple of them. But they'll slow his roll.
Sigh of relief when that nade lands, because he's feeling it there. 2 taps. To make that 1v4 interesting.
いや地味にね、この CT 削ってんのもでかいんだよな。まあ実質 AK1 本でね、3人削ったみたいなもんだから、なかなかね、いいんじゃないかな。バイタリティとしては。ナイスエコランド。いやマウスのブローラーもあの辺ね、ラダー結構ダブルで入ってきたりするけど。
Vitality's destiny is to be in the grand final. They have been the best team this year. Unquestionably, the signing of Robs taking them to new heights.
But
the skill that Maus have been honing and improving is their resilience and their calmness under pressure. And if there ever was a time to show it, it's in this major semi-final. Still streaking together these rounds are Maus. The gap starting to close in a game that felt so far gone. The second half could have already been over. Vitality could have already been in the grand final.
またラダーは人数かけて上がってきてますね。ブローランス。
Cling on. Again, this crunch. No one supporting from the B side though. Spink just chilling. So Maus put it all on these two. Zaiwu coming in for the clear.
さあこのクリアで難しいけど、さあどっちが打ち勝つか。
Swings around, spots that first, but he doesn't know that there's more in store. Brolin gets found. Flames.
Oh, the
Nothing to worry about. Spinks swings upper, and that's another kill for Vitality. They even blocked the next play. Maus can't make a move. Maus are forced back.
たのでかいね。いやいい目で壁に切る。
Vitality get the ducks in a row.
ラダーにいたの確定したから上側から抜いてたけど。40ダメージ入った。
Two of the heaviest hitters gone for Maus as well. It's Torshi at 4 kills. Yimpat left in this one. Torshi deleted at his first turn out into the A side. Jimmy trapped on the other side of a Z smoke, having to come to terms with it. If he doesn't win this 1v4, the finish line is right there for Team Vitality.
ああ、ショート聞こえたんじゃないかな、今ので。
And it's a 1v4. You're not even supposed to attempt these. You're not even meant to entertain the idea, and so Jimmy won't.
いや、足音聞こえてないんだ。ロペスはまだ。
Jimmy plays for the save, hoping that this gun can be their golden ticket in the next round.
Yeah, your stomach sinks in this moment. You don't want to give it up, but you know you have no chance. Vitality too entrenched in the site, too entrenched in this series.
いや
6 chances.
いいとこ抜いてんね。
And to the tune of the bomb. Vitality can feel that grand final. Jimmy even dies at the end of the round. That gun is not saved.
So that's just brutal. You spent, the last 30 seconds looking for a good place to hide, coming to terms with the fact that you were to be the hero. Had the one gun in the round that your team were going to have to try and save themselves, and it's gone. It gets removed. Right as your opponent hits 12. And so Vitality, they've got all the chances in the world. The grand final is within sight. It is within touching distance. 5 kills away.
今回ラダーは
Even though there's been a bit more fight in Mao since getting onto this CT side, even though they've taken 4 of the 6 rounds played, they're not left with a lot to fight back with here. Aggressive moves having to be made, trying to squeeze.
さあもう武器が弱いからこうやって仕掛けるしかなかったけど、こううまくはまってよかったですね。投げ物もスモーク2個とあとフラッシュ1個しかないから。
Leaves them a man down over in B compared to when they've done this in the past. Poppy and held. That's Zaiwu waiting for the reaction. Rops has opened up the back door. Dead over in ramp. It's that Rob Zaiwu duo.
いや、これもきついじゃん、モロトに入って。ああ。
And Mouse is so out of position.
これは GG じゃないかな。
They're so far away from making this retake happen.
まあ A メイン上がってラーク
The
警
question
戒。
of the day was, can they rise to the occasion? Finally overpower Vitality in this head-to-head.
A サイト。
And we have got our answer. In spite of these few rounds down the stretch, there's not been
いや、もう
love
GG でし
for
ょ。
Mouse here on train. They say that hope dies
もう
last.
時間ないね。きっとないから。ナイス。
Mouse are done. And Vitality. A day with destiny.
バイバイ。マジ側のファンにバイバイしてますね。
7-0 says Apex. There is every Counter-Strike team in the world, and then there is Team Vitality, a cut above the rest. A flawless head-to-head, a grand final, the first grand final in a major for Mezzi and for Flames.
ミラージも強かったし、インフェちょっと大丈夫かなと思ったけど。
Dominate Mouse.
インフェやられた分、最後はトレインでやり返したって感じがするね。ザイフめちゃくちゃ強かったし。
The only one left for Vitality to get is the trophy here in Austin, the major trophy. And that's the ambitions. That is where the target lies for Vitality. Anything less than that would have felt like a failure. And so final secured. They do it handily past Mouse. That's after about a second map. They dig deep. And that train gamble does not pay off. Vitality, more like totality, because it's all them, all the way.
いや、フレームズもね、ミラージュやばい目抜きとかあったし。ザイフはうまかったし。
I'm pretty sure that's a good thing. Zaiwu, how do you feel, pal?
Yeah, feeling great, guys. Yeah, we just won against Mouse, so perfect feeling.
Yeah, and it is exactly that. Let's talk a little about what happened in this series.
反対のグランドファイナルの反対側がね、まあモンゴルズがペイン。だからまあ。
We just fucked up. Obviously they play good, but we missed so many rounds. We could play better. So obviously they have good Inferno against us. So
まあグランドファイナル優勝なのかな。強かったな。
And you get the train. I lost count of how many smoke frags you got throughout the whole duration of the thing. Tell me about how this flipped on its head on train.
Train, we were so. I think after the Inferno loss, we were so upset over that. So we wanted to show like we fucked up before, and we just
on train, try to play our A game. I think we did it really well.
Yeah, I think you most certainly did. Look, you eliminated Mouse today. You took Spirit, or excuse me, they took Spirit with them. Navi gets sent packing. Is this championship for Vitality? Is this your major for the taking, Zaiwu?
Maybe, who knows? Let's see tomorrow in the final, but it might be a great shot for us.
Who do you want? Do you want Pain or do you want the Mongols?
Doesn't matter. We're gonna beat them.
Give it up for Zaiwu.
And on the other end, unfortunately, there is Mouse falling short just of the grand final. Torji, after such a spectacular Inferno, why did you think you ran out of steam on train?
I don't think we ran out of steam. I think we just didn't play correctly on train. I think we did a lot of mistakes, and also we just didn't play as a team, and it was not enough. It was not good from me today. I played really bad, and I feel like I let the team down, and really disappointed in myself, but yeah.
Okay. Torji did say that he still wants to say something. I just checked because, of course, we understand that this is a moment that hits so hard. So I'm just going to open the floor. What is it that you would like to say?
I will just say thank you for cheering for us. It means a lot, and we just want to get better for next season and beat Vitality, because I feel like that is on my mind at the moment, you know? And maybe they will get a perfect season, we will see, but thank you for everybody. It was amazing to play here, and
モンゴルズどうしようかな。モンゴルズペイン面白いかな。ちょっとザイム登場しとこう。
It's been a head-to-head that has haunted Mouse all season long, and you can see the emotions that leaves Torzi and the rest of the guys with a crushing blow for Mouse to end out this season. But for Vitality, they answer fate's call. 7 grand finals in a row and a chance to match that with trophies. We, of course, emotions running high, but we do have Apex up here on the desk. First of all, congratulations. That was a crazy series. Can you just tell me what's going through your head right now?
Well, that Mirage was really controlled by us. They won only one by round, so everything went smooth. But at Inferno, we really fall apart. Lost all duels that we should have done. Didn't respect our plans in a way, and everything fall apart. And sometimes it's tough to come back. At least I got my shotgun kills. That's the most important.
That was a sick round, dude.
And we won. And last time we won the last round against them with this one as well. So and Train, Train was once again controlled by us. We just knew where they were. We were always have the advantage situation. Played the clutch rounds perfectly. Yeah, I'm proud of the guys. 7th time we win against them in a row. 7 grand final in a row. But it will not matter if we don't conclude it tomorrow.
Yeah, and we've been a grand final before. We won a major before back in Paris, which was also a Blast, so that we got something coming here.
I'm a Blast merchant, mate.
No, but obviously what you guys have achieved throughout this season has been incredible. And right now you find yourself in another major final. What's gonna stop you guys?
I don't know for now. I just want to win that major because the sure thing is no respect for you guys, but it will be the best 6 months we ever seen in CS for sure. Like 7 out of 8 tournaments. We have a long road to beat these guys.
まあそんな感じかな。まあ今日一番いい試合見れたからいっか。多分明日グランドファイナル見て、バイタリティモンゴルズだとは思ってるけど。まあそんな感じでちょっと日曜日ゆっくり過ごそうかなと思います。
Mood-wise, work-wise, I know like everyone is grinding their way, the shit out, and that just feels good to have people like me and the addition of Robin. What can we say?